Hello, and welcome to yet another Q&A Thursday where I'm your host, Dane Hennon, and to my right, Levi Gates.
Dane, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
It's good. It's a very frozen Thursday.
Yeah, chilly.
Very
I went
cold.
for that walk right before he came in here.
Yeah.
I'm mixture of like frozen, but also a little bit of sweat. So it's
I'm
not
super
a-
glad
not the
I
most comfortable.
didn't go with you. I
Yeah.
thought about it. When
Yeah.
you left, I was like, dang it, I should have gone with him. So,
But, next time, right?
yeah. Well, we did it yesterday.
We
so
did.
Doesn't matter.
So we can make a habit of that, and that's all right.
Yeah.
But, anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, welcome everybody. Q&A Thursday. As you notice, Anthony is not here again. However, I called him today. He's hanging out with his brother. He hasn't seen him in 2 years since he
been
joined
a
the Air
while.
Force.
Yeah,
so,
no, he's been gone
when we were
overseas.
in Germany, when we were in Europe for Waxstock, he kept trying to hit up his brother to be like,
Yeah.
hey, this is where I'm going to be. This is what we've got. And his brother just couldn't get the time to come hang. We were even going to have him come to Waxstock with us. And so,
Cool.
so Anthony is very excited to have the time with his little brother, and he's very excited. And so he just wanted us to let everybody know that not to worry. He will be here next week.
Yeah.
And that he
Next
is,
week's a short week.
and I said, but next week's we only got we got a tiny week, and he goes, I know, I'll be there. And I
I
said,
think
all
it was
right.
strategic.
Yeah.
Might have been strategic.
So he goes, weird how that happened. That's crazy. But anyway, so getting right into it, guys. A couple things to remember.
Yeah.
Make sure you are signed up for the newsletter.
course.
That's the biggest, easiest way. Go to theradcompany.com. Go all the way down to the bottom if you haven't, or it'll just populate automatically. It will say sign up for the details. First things first, if you sign up, one, we don't spam you.
Correct.
We only send you an email when it is in regards to a sale.
So the only two times you should really receive an email are when something exciting is happening and you should
Right.
know about it, or it's just a follow-up because you created an account or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Basic stuff.
The other thing is, if you sign up, we give you a 15% off coupon.
How's that for
Right
a
out of
little
the gate.
treat?
And it's crazy because it's a 15% off coupon that works on almost everything except for case quantities.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
So you get the welcome email, you can buy a bunch of stuff, you can get 15% off everything. So, but the reason is our biggest sale of the year, Black Friday. That email is going to hit your inbox the moment the sale is live.
So
And if you remember Black Friday last year, we had some insane specials.
well, and here's the thing.
So
It
you
happens-
don't want to miss out. And for those of you that missed out,
Yeah.
like Halloween, when we did the same thing, we did a Halloween shirt. We're not doing a shirt, but I am telling you, we had so many people that missed out and didn't check their email and go, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Guys, mark your calendars. Gals, mark your calendars.
That's what I was going to
Get
say.
ready.
Was essentially it happens every year. There's a
Happens
slew
every
of
year.
messages from people like, "Oh, I wish I knew about this." And it's like, guys, there's a very easy way to find out. Please just sign up for the newsletter. It does the rest for you.
And if you've already signed up, sign up again just to make sure
Yeah.
you don't miss anything. Or if you've been missing the emails and you're like, man, I signed up and I never got it. Please go back, check your junk, check your spam, check your
Because
check it.
if you're finding out like middle of the day of,
Yeah.
it might already be too
You
late.
might
Things
already be
move
too late.
fast and there's
Right.
limited quantities. So just trying to give everybody heads up so you all have a
Yeah, we just
fair
want
chance at it.
because it's going to launch next week. I'm not going to say what day or time, but you guys got to be ready for it. And the easiest way to do that is it will drop as a email
Yep.
and at the exact moment that the site goes live with all the sales. So
Yeah.
you need to get on it, especially if you've been saving up this year and you want to get in on some great deals. So starting that off, we got Dan Pfeiffer with a good afternoon and a word up
Classic.
from snowy Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. O&R washing inside the garage season is in full swing. Let's rock. I did
Yeah, dude.
that detail I did this last weekend because everything was frozen.
Makes sense.
I did an O&R wash, and here's what I did, Dane. I took my my IK multi
Yeah.
sprayer, filled it up with the rinseless, stuck it in the
Okay.
fender wells,
Oh, okay.
sprayed out the fender wells.
Uh-huh.
Then I took my Tornador gun, right?
Okay.
The dry gun, just
Yeah.
the air,
Just air.
and I blasted the inner fender wells out. and then I sprayed it again, and then I blasted it with the air.
What vehicle was this?
It was a Subaru Impreza.
Okay, so not carpeted fender liners.
No, but you can do that on carpeted fenders too.
You can too.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can blow it out. So I did that. That's how I cleaned those inner fender wells, and then I sprayed the wheels again, did my wheel cleaning that I needed to do with O&R, and then wiped everything up. I did the whole car in the garage, just washing and getting it ready to detail, and detailed the whole thing inside the garage. But I used O&R. So let's get this party started, guys. We can do it. Alex Dwar saying happy Friday Eve. Hope everyone's having a great day. This week is flying by. Take care. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate it.
Thank
you.
And
then Hans Closen saying, hello, brothers across the pond. What's going on, Hans?
Hey, fellow brother across the pond. Yeah. And Pat Welsh here. Thanks for the walk around at SEMA. Loved all of them. Thank
You're
you,
welcome,
Pat. Really appreciate that. It makes me want to do more.
Mobility today. Using O&R in the winter with snow and salt. How much risk do I have to scratch my paint? So that's where having a multi-sprayer comes in handy, or any type of pressure sprayer, realistically. This way you can, 1, wash the surface. 2, if you're using hot water, that really helps to emulsify and break that down. This is where you can do lots of stuff. You can do the pre-spray. You can even grab like Epic waterless wash. You can use that as a pre-spray. Grab that. That's really the only time I ever use a waterless wash, is I use it as the pre-soak for my rinseless washes. So I hit those dirty areas because I'm getting more encapsulation, and then I'll spray the whole car down. I'll spray those first, pre-soak those with that, and then I'll spray the whole car down with my warm O&R or rinseless solution, whatever I'm doing.
That's kind of
and then the
best
bucket's
use
hot water.
For waterless,
yeah.
really.
And then I also have a steamer, so I can literally take that and steam some of the heavier chunks down.
Break them.
But really, you're just washing that stuff off, and then you just go through and do your normal wash with the O&R or the rinseless. It's great. So
perfect.
Meridian Marmot, hey, party people, where is All Day Anthony gone?
Gone all day, Anthony.
Gone all day, Anthony.
Nice.
I get that. I've been trying to get under the hood of that gray Lancer thing he has. Have you guys tried any of those DIY detail products
You're kind
yet?
of bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, so we told you Anthony's at home with his family. He's doing stuff with his brother. Hopefully you were able to not get into the Lancer.
For his sake.
Yeah. As to the DIY detail products yet, so Dane got to have a delightful taco dinner with Nick and Ivan. And then right before that, Anthony and I received product. We received DIY detail products to play with and use. And so I've only used the tire dressing. Smells great. I like their sprayers, but I used a ton of product on a Tacoma pickup.
Okay, so you use more product than you expected.
I felt like I used more. The soap is very nice. It reminds me of like the old O&R car wash or Optimum car wash soap.
Oh, yeah. That was a good soap. It was kind of overlooked because they also made O&R.
Yeah, very thick, very viscous. A couple drops really, and then mix up in the bucket. And it goes a long way. It's very dense. What else did I use? Let's see. Did tires. I did the soap. I didn't really use... I used their interior cleaner and protectant.
Yeah.
Nice. Really nice. I like the smell of it. I thought it works great. Did a good job. So those are the 3 I've tried so far.
Out of curiosity, for the product you said you used more than you expected to, was that as directed by the bottle, or was that just
basically.
your own
No, I mean,
use?
I sprayed it on the tires.
Okay.
Because it was a truck. It was a Tacoma, but it wasn't like crazy off-road tires. It was just regular
street tires. Okay. Interesting. I just wanted to know. Alex, I didn't ask you to say that. Jeez, dude.
And Alex Dwar making sure that he's getting making his money from Dane by asking you all to go follow Dane Alex. On Twitch. Rob Schodecker, more colors in the Edgeless 300, please. Rob, that is a interesting thought. We've always ran that Edgeless 300 as blue and yellow only for, better from over a decade. So we'll put that on the list and let Jeff know. Maybe we bring in another one. I don't know.
In the past, with like our more standard Terry's, for example, like the Terry all-purpose cleaning towels, we used to offer a huge variety of colors. It grows and it expands and contracts. So you basically keep growing the line a little bit, see what colors really interest people. There's usually a few duds that you can obviously tell don't sell as well as the others. And unfortunately, it's just taking up room in the warehouses. You can make room with a product that does sell, you have to make a practical consideration at a certain point. Go, yeah, time to cut back on those. And then when people ask, maybe you start expanding again. It's just a constant like accordion of back and forth. But that's not to say it won't happen again. So keep our options open.
Grant Hawtrey says Dane is slowly turning into a creepy version of Mr. Rogers.
Why's it got to be creepy? Why?
I don't know. Maybe they like that. Carson Black saying, hey, guys. What's up, Carson? How are you?
Hey, buddy.
And then Darren saying, good evening, TRC. I'm listening to you guys walking around doing that awful task, my food shopping. That's awesome. I love that when you get to do that.
Got to do it.
Yeah. And Rotary Chevy saying, I have tried the applicator pad with a rag and the Chemical Guys glass cleaner. P.S. I am the only one who said my glass had streaking. So you use the applicator pad with the towel and the Chemical Guys glass cleaner.
That's what came up like a couple
Yeah, that's
weeks
right.
ago.
I remember that. I remember that, Rotary.
Yeah.
And then where can I join your mailing list? He also said, so again, go to the ragcompany.com.
Scroll to the bottom.
As you scroll to the bottom, it'll automatically pop up, or it's at the very bottom of the webpage. It says sign up for the newsletter. So please sign up.
Provide your email.
Yeah.
It does the rest. Yeah.
So, Rotary, I have videos on how to clean glass on our YouTube channel. You can check those out, a couple of them. I said if you use that clean applicator pad, it's a very nice, easy way to get it very clean. Sometimes, though, you got to do it a couple times. You got to get it in there a couple times to get that. And I had that same issue this weekend on that Subaru I was working on. My buddy who I worked on it for is a doctor. And that was one of the things. He goes, how do you get your glass? He goes, how do you get glass so clean? I don't understand it. And I said, dude, we make 6 different types of glass weave towels that are designed for glass.
Because different people prefer a different way.
And I said, and I used 2 different weaves and an applicator sponge that was a completely different weave.
Yeah.
And that's how I got it. But I had to do it a lot by pulling it out in the sun, finding the little spots that were getting missed. And he was like, that's nuts. And I go,
but it works for you.
But that's what I've been doing this for so long. Like I figured out a way, but I still had trial and error. I still have to find ways to get it, to finish it. I think I got it, and I pull it out, and I missed an entire square. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I wiped that. And you go wipe it again, and it's still stuck there. And you back it out, and you look, and you're like, God dang, that thing is still there. So
this is something that applies to not just you guys, but also the customers that you're doing this for. The number one thing people notice when they get into their car is usually, can I see through the glass or not? Looking at fingerprints, little flecks of stuff. That's going to be the thing that stands out the most. So if you do an impressive job on the glass, sometimes people are more willing to forgive other stuff as long as the glass is the most impressive part. So leading with that is not a bad idea. And learning a method that works for you rather than just getting by with the glass. The glass is really what makes the impression for people who don't know any better otherwise. They may not see a scratch, but they can sure see a smudge on their windshield.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Phil Bloomer saying, good evening from Salisbury, UK. Hope you guys are doing well, Levi and Dane. It's been a while. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you for popping in. And then Tyler, not detail related. How do those Dixon flannels fit? I'm looking to get a couple of them for the winter, but I struggle with long sleeve stuff being 6'7". So they make a large tall and an extra large tall.
Yeah, I've got double XL talls.
And they make a double XL tall. So
the sleeves are almost too long for me. You notice at the beginning of the show I was rolling my cuffs up because they do. They extend down to almost where my lower knuckles are.
So Tyler, they have an actual fit, like a sizing chart. So it tells you. So this is a large that I'm wearing. Normally I wear extra larges and everything, so they run a little big. Anthony said that the large talls fit him lengthwise, but he says they feel too tight in his shoulders. And the extra larges he feels are sometimes a little too baggy for him. But that's just the nature of the beast. So he kind of fluctuates between based on what he kind of feels like.
It depends, on your shoulder breadth and like your height of your torso has a lot to do with it. Maybe you're not as tall as some other people, but maybe you got kind of like a weirdly tall torso and shorter legs. There's all these variables.
But they have they got the sizes on their website, so it says like go to their website. It says sizing chart. Now
they'll give actual measurements,
and I will say right now they've started their Black Friday sale and they've been doing different drops every day.
Yeah,
and there's some really cool stuff, and they always, I mean, the whole company here, like gets ready for it.
Oh yeah,
so pretty nuts. But I keep feeling like I have a sneeze, so I apologize, guys.
No worries. Phil, back again.
So if I was to use Kosh Chemi P601 to polish a car, would I be able to apply SO02 on top? And if so, have you had any experience doing this? Yeah, you could. You totally could. You shouldn't have an issue. You might get some streaking just because they're competing sealants, but in essence, technically, it should be pretty much close to the same sealant. Ricardo B, what's up, gentlemen? Any idea if the new IK items will be available at TRC? Ricardo, I sent my draft that Anthony and I, basically, we came up with our counts for what we're bringing in of the new stuff. So we submitted that.
Matter of time.
And, yep. So that's for the order to be placed.
No specifics yet, though.
Not giving any specifics on it. Dane and I talked about it on our walk yesterday. But Anthony and I figured out our time, what we wanted, and then I wrote the email. So that's where we're at. Grant Hotry, another top tip from Levi on how Dane cleans his carpeted underarms.
The sound is terrible.
That's hilarious.
Mobility today. Thanks so much because we answered his question.
Yep, you're welcome, man.
You guys. Oh, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Nash.
Happy Friday Eve. Got a contractor's truck coming in this weekend. 31 degrees and the sun's out. Hoping I can pressure wash the outside, then O&R in the garage with the heater. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. I would also recommend, if it's a really dusty contractor's truck, use a wet on the interior. And if it's all plastic and rubber, I would use O&R, wet O&R, like on a towel to grab all that. Because one thing that most people don't realize is it doesn't make mud.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about the product. It actually grabs all the dirt and pulls it off, where if you just use like water or an all-purpose cleaner, you'd actually push and create mud in different areas.
Sludge, mud,
yeah,
whatever
it's
you
very
want to call it.
It's very strange, but I used to do a number of the local utility company here, the electrical, the power company. I did a lot of their vehicles, and that was the way it was. They were all vinyl floors, rubber floors, vinyl seats.
It's the work grade truck.
Full of dust. Full of dust. And once I started doing them with O&R, it cut the time in half because we weren't chasing mud. So, pretty crazy. Phil, have you used Uno Advanced as of yet? If so, what's the water behavior like? Phil, I've been using Uno Advanced for close to 18 months.
Just a little while.
I love it. I love it. I was part of the beta testing group. It's my favorite product, and we just shot a video where Dane got to use it on his van. Very simple.
Polished in a video, guys. Whoa.
Very easy to use, super smooth, no issues on removal or any of that kind of stuff. Just an amazing product. Water behavior, it's just like a coating, normal general ceramic coating. So yeah. Rodri, what car soap do you recommend that's pH neutral? Rodri, if you're looking for cost, Pearl is a great soap that can get you started. If you're looking to jazz it up a little bit and you want something, a little bit of flash, nice scent, maybe a little gloss, the Stiarna Gloss line with Mata or Bubbler. Bubbler has a gloss enhancer in it, where Mata is just a plain soap.
You love Mata too.
I love Mata. I love Bubbler because I love the smell of them. I think they smell amazing. But they work really well. And then you can get into the Kosh Chemi line.
Got GSF.
GSF is a hard-hitting, amazing soap.
And it smells good too.
And they've got their whole line of soaps based on sealants as well as pH ratings and cleanability with active foam and super foam and things like that. And then we've got our G-Technic line. And G-Technic has some solid.
Can't go wrong with G-Wash.
Amazing soaps. Yeah, G-Wash is a very simple, perfect, easy wash for that.
So it's a matter of personal preference. Sometimes you may ask people what their favorite is because of the scent or something, but in the end, you're going to wind up with a clean car. It's just how you get there. You choose the journey, but the destination remains the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then how do you cut time off of detailing,
Become more efficient is what you're talking about.
Yeah, you got to become more efficient. So if you type in Google, Levi Gates, SOP, it will give you my standard operating procedure on how I detail a car, start to finish. It's a PDF document, so you can print it off, keep it in your garage.
Step by step.
It'll tell you step by step how to start, where to work, and basically gives you basics. It says, use an all-purpose cleaner, go around, spray all this stuff, then wash it, then scrub it. Then it shows you exactly how you would do it. And it's taken from when I ran my detail shop.
So he knows it works.
That's what I would train and teach my guys on how to do these surfaces.
Lastly,
favorite detail spray.
I assume he means instant detailer type detail spray.
I hope so, because this is where we kind of differ. Anthony and I have different ideas on what we want. I like having a quick detailer that I can clean the surface off that's not going to leave anything, no streaks, nothing. Anthony always wants to have a bit of gloss and a bit of slickness added to his surface. So for me, if I'm washing a car and I'm going to throw something on, I really like Silky by Stiarna Gloss. I think that's a great detail spray. But I also really like just using Bead Maker, even though Bead Maker...
I was going to say, Bead Maker's a sealant, but we all kind of use it like a detail
Bead Maker's
spray.
a sealant, and I use it as a wash, finish, drying aid.
I'll never get tired of the scent. That's a big part of why I enjoy using it. It's just how it smells and how slick it immediately feels.
But if you're looking for like, oh man, I got to go to the car show, I washed my car, I'm pulling up, or in this case, hopefully that square body pickup you got. If you're dropping it, you're getting there and you've got dust, you got some light dirt. I usually try to combine where I want one to clean and then one to shine. So I always look at it that way. So in this case, you've got like Stiarna Gloss has Mata and Silke. So you can do it with Mata, which is just there to clean, and then Silke, which has the gloss enhancers and all that stuff. And then we also have the same thing with PNS. We've got Epic Waterless Wash with PNS. We've got Paint Gloss.
Yeah.
And we have Dream Maker. And Dream Maker is purely show car shine.
If you want something that's just
has
like
no
the last
cleaning,
step
no, but it has no cleaning.
water.
It has no.
No, don't clean with it.
Doesn't clean anything. Won't remove anything.
won't.
Just you got to have a clean surface first. So try those there. Harry Housewife, love the
Darren.
Twitch streams. Dane, as it always late, I can catch up when I can. That's
It is
nice.
late, so I guess it's a good time for you guys. Thanks, Darren.
Phil Bloomer, will the Ultra Black Sponge ever be available in any other colors? Not from us, because it's called the Ultra Black Sponge.
Yeah, kind of hard to make it a different color.
And
That's
the
name.
different colors means a different grit, if that makes sense.
The composition is different.
Composition of all the foams. That's why if you notice, it's very similar to the big red sponge, and it's very similar to the big gold sponge, but the composition of all three foams, they all come from the same place.
Yeah.
But the composition is very different amongst all of them.
And that's not just us saying that. You can actually try them next to each other. They do act different.
Yeah. So,
Spencer.
Anthony, the towels you gave me at SEMA are going to good use. I'm just curious if the flex tape I gave you is being used. Nice. I don't know. Anthony, we haven't seen him. We don't know where he is. He's just not here. No, he probably has it still in his backpack. But thank you, Spencer. It was great seeing you.
Yeah.
And then favorite glass cleaner, torn between True View, Perfect Glass by G-Technic, and the Rinseless to Towel Trick. So all of them are great. I'll just say that. All of them are great. I use both in my garage, and I use glass from Stiarna Gloss, all three. So, or all four there, because the Rinseless to Towel Trick. Yeah.
True.
Phil, got to say the Hairy Housewife is doing you guys proud. Laugh like mad about the Liquidator towel vid he did, and saw the Rags to Riches video earlier. Kudos.
That's
I haven't.
great.
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, I haven't watched the Rags to Riches video yet, but I died.
I've
on
seen
the
the Liquidator one.
That
I
was
have not
great.
seen the Rags to Riches one yet. Kirby Thompson.
All right, Kirby. So, off topic a bit, but going to MTE, and I've never used Uber to the hotel. How much can I expect? So, download the Uber app, Kirby, and it will, right now, honestly, you could find out an Uber from your location to the venue.
Yeah.
If you know where you're going to be staying at. So, if you know what hotel you're going to stay at, and you guys are going to go to the Rosen Shingle Creek, you can literally put that in right now. Like I could do that right here from
you just
Boise.
put your beginning and ending destination,
and
you
it'll
start
tell
with the
you
one where you're gonna be.
Yep.
Not where you are right now, but where you're gonna be, and then put your final destination.
And it'll tell you exactly how much it's going to be based on the time, current time, and all that.
It does change.
But it does change
a lot.
But like I said, Kirby, I don't know how far that is, but I will tell you that most of the time it's under $20.
For the shorter stints.
For the shorter stuff, it's anywhere from it really was like under $20 for most of the stuff.
In Vegas, most of the trips I did, were under $20. When I went like more than 6 or 8 miles, then I started creeping into the 20 something.
Right. Yeah.
But,
your most expensive one. Is going to be to the airport.
Yeah. Airports always cost a little more.
Those are a little more,
it's crowded.
but it also depends on the time. So like when we flew out last year at Mobile Tech, I scheduled our Uber ride for 4 a.m.
Yeah, don't go at a time when they're doing the surge pricing.
But I
and
did
all
it.
that
I
stuff.
scheduled it automatically and said I'd like an Uber ride for 4 a.m. tomorrow morning to pick me up at the base of the hotel. And I did that because we heard a rumor that there was something like there was a storm or something, there was a ton of people that were leaving and that the airport was going to be packed. So to beat the surge pricing, I was able to lock in a price because I pre-ordered the Uber for that time.
Because you can schedule them well in advance.
So I locked it in at that price. And then when I pulled it open that morning to get in the Uber, John pulled up his phone to look and see what an Uber was going to cost. He's like, I'm so glad we scheduled this because they're 45 minutes out right now. So that was a nice thing because we had to leave to the airport early. Yeah. So, but anyway, Kirby, it's pretty simple, man. I know it sometimes seems a lot more difficult. For those of you guys wondering, Kirby is a little more advanced in age compared to the rest of us. So
that's all right.
But you shouldn't have a problem. Yeah. We're very well versed in a lot of this. But Uber to the hotel, just go to the Uber app. You can download the Uber app. It's free, and you can kind of add. Just don't click on it. Don't
confirm.
Accept. Yeah, don't confirm.
Don't pay for anything.
But you can actually see like, oh, okay, I can do this. So now I have an idea. Try and do it at the time period that you're thinking you're going to be going. That'll help you the most
because the time changes.
Yeah,
it's all about
because I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year for. Mobile tech. So like
certain days, it's different times on each day. It's not always the same. Think like your town has rush hour, but then the weekends always act a little different if you're close to like an urban center.
So think like Friday night, you guys are going to be at the event. You finish the IDA event that's happening Friday night, and you guys are like, hey, we're going to go back to the hotel. And it's going to be about 8 o'clock on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay. Put that go on Uber at 9 o'clock because you're in Texas. You're an hour behind. Go on and check, just look and see how much the Ubers are running at that price for 4, because it's usually an Uber for 4 is the lowest. And then
that's Uber X. That's the basic one.
That's the base. And then they go up in amount and luxury and all that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for just need a ride, it's $20 or $18 for the day. Sometimes it's $8.
The airport was like $30 to $40 when we did it. That was the one expensive one. But other than that, they were all pretty reasonable.
Yeah. But anyway, Harry Housewife, funny story for you guys. If you see the photos I took of the Rags to Riches bottle at night, well, it turns out I was in a dogging hotspot late at night with a tripod and a camera, and it attracts police attention. That's awesome.
Careful if you Google that,
Oh, my gosh. I love
Be careful if you Google
that. That is hilarious. If Anthony was here, he'd be very interested and excited about this. Fog going, been trying to find a safe way to remove scratches from the gauge cluster's clear plastic. I saw a video of someone using Plastic X from Meguiar's, but wanted another opinion. I would be hand polishing. Fog, I will tell you right now.
Gauge cluster clear plastic is such a...
Just buy a new one.
Yeah.
Seriously, like in some cases, it's very easy to replace. Sometimes it's very difficult to replace.
Oh, with the Subaru we did as a project car, we tried polishing that one.
Well, so I'm in a number of
Because if you
groups.
replace it, it's no longer original, and some people care about that.
Right. So I'm in a number of groups. I'm in an OBS Chevy group.
Now, in a Chevy group, they might not care as much.
Well, it's surprising how many people don't understand this. So one guy said, just got my truck back, got it all detailed. My gauge cluster got burned.
Burned?
So it can happen when someone uses a non-diluted all-purpose cleaner.
Oh, that kind of burn. Okay.
It got etched, right, on the plastics. And they're like, dude, this is, oh my gosh, I don't even know what this is going to do. I don't know what this is going to cost. The guys at the detail shop are complaining and saying like, yo, we don't know. It was like that. Yeah. It was like that before you pulled in. And he's like, it wasn't because it didn't, I could see through it.
It does not take much.
So I wrote a little thing and said, hey man, you'd be surprised. It's very common, but good luck trying to explain it to these guys.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would just, because I know those trucks, especially this one, because I just finished one, I did mine. It's 6 Torx bit screws. Mm-hmm. You just unscrew everything, and then it's 2 more or 4 more Torx bit screws. Take it all off, and then if you go to the LMC truck, you can buy a totally brand new piece of plastic that's pre-cut and everything for your car. And I sent him the link for that gauge cluster, and I go, just do this. That's what I did. And it was like $15. And he was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can buy a whole brand new one for $15 and just remove those 6 screws. He's like, Holy cow, thank you.
I did that with my little Mazda B when I had that truck, and no, it made a big difference. Now, where I will make a distinction is for the people who kind of freak out about original versus non-original, do I trust that odometer? What I find is the cars with digital odometers, which can go back to the 80s.
This is just a shield. This is just a plastic shield.
The shield. Okay.
That's it. You just
I was going to say, if you're replacing the whole cluster and it's digital, you're okay because the computer in the car will still feed the right numbers to the screen. But
if it's literally just the cover.
Analog odometer, then it becomes kind of sussy.
Yeah. No, this was just a plastic cover. That's what I'm saying.
Remember my Tacoma, though. The 2020 Tacoma had the atrocious plastic cover over the gauges.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody had just gone to town with a razor blade.
Right. Yeah. And they probably did.
It was a brand new truck.
Yeah. But they probably did. And that's the thing. So just check that out. Do a little research on your cars first and see if you can get a replacement part. If it's under $50, heck, if it's even under $100 to get a new cover for that cluster, dude, I would do it because it's worth it, because Plastic X has a tendency, depending on the plastic, it can destroy that, and you would be like, dude, I just made it worse, or it didn't do anything. So,
and you spent money on it, so it's kind of
just get a new one, get it nice. And honestly, you could take the new one, you can find a plastics coating, like OptiCoat has a plastic coating.
Yeah, when you put the new one in there, protect it,
coat it before you put it in.
Yeah.
So Mina, hey, all really starting to like the UBS. So much easier than using towels. Thank you, Mina.
Happy it's the efficient way to do
That's
it.
Right.
For sure.
Antoine Armstrong. Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time commenter. Bought a used pickup truck, thinking about doing a decon wash. Was thinking of buying super foam. Thoughts? Go for it. Have fun with it.
I super foamed his pickup truck.
Yeah. Also use Green Star. Mix up some Green Star or Forced or Power Clean as an all-purpose cleaner to get out the tires and fender wells and any of the other stuff. Really, really stretch that out. So.
Yeah.
Sam Squatch, happy Thursday. I hope you're all doing well. Digging the plaid. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
And then David Boyce saying, love the flannel shirts, guys. Hey, 2 weeks in a row and no Andy. I mean Anthony.
He'll be here next week. Don't worry, guys. And then Kirby again.
Oh, you started early. Hello, Dane and Levi this afternoon. Was starting to hang house Christmas lights and came inside.
Oh,
not a problem.
No
Kirby.
worries.
Jay says, I'll never make it up to the live. I'll never make it to the live. What's up,
So you're
guys?
saying this
What's
is
up,
a rare
Jay?
occasion where he did.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Congrats.
Congrats, brother. And then Darren saying, just see your message, Phil. Thanks, my man. Definitely having fun. Just wait for the next one. Nice.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy Kessler screaming out, KCX Super Foam.
Hey,
Nice.
You know what? I miss having our product yellers.
I do too. The product yellers
Sometimes the product
best.
yellers are just a great addition to the landscape of our chat box. So thank you.
MB saying winter is coming. What do you guys like for pre-rinses? Help with salt removal. So Epic,
Actually,
like I
just
said,
talked about that. Yeah.
Epic's great. You guys could also run your ONR or rinseless Absolute at 128-1 as a pre-soak if you want. But there's not really much like a need. It's really just being able to wash the surface with that. Get it wet because it'll help start running the sand and dirt and stuff that's on the side of the car down.
Remove the stuff that could have broken.
Yeah. Jeff C., so much hot O&R talk today. I'll be doing my first Absolute wash this weekend. High of 17 on Saturday.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. There you go. Welcome.
I'm glad you're really enjoying Absolute, too. Because I've seen you commenting about it a lot, so you're getting a lot of use out of it. But, I mean, you're becoming an expert in your own time now.
That's right. Grant Hawtrey saying, day 572. Anthony's reason for not being around is he's learning to interrogate my family with his brother, teaching him the ways of
Vic and
talk. Please like, share, and subscribe to all TRC media.
We're
not going to say that
the information.
We're not going to say that's not happening.
I mean, but you can neither confirm nor deny.
You got to remember, the Fisher brothers.
Yeah.
Anthony and Fisher. Those guys, they're pretty big guys.
Pretty big guys.
You know. That's just that's what happens. They got to help each other out, take care of each other, things like that. It goes the same way with you and your brother Henan, Dane.
Yeah,
you know, because you're Dane and then your brother's
both
Henan.
of us being somewhat of a Tom Cruise stature.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. The Hairy Housewife have that SOP laminated with me on all cleans. Thank you, Darren.
Nice.
That's how you do it. And then Rodri saying, I sold the yellow pickup truck. I missed that truck.
The classic C10.
Yeah, that is a pretty truck.
Good old
Phil Bloomer
rod.
recently saw Sydney from PNS use Beadmaker for wash, clay, and seal on a coated car. Didn't realize it could be done like that, but useful to know. Yeah, you totally can do it that way.
Right here on our channel.
I will say, that's weird. But I'm just reading the next one. But yeah, you can do it that way. Sorry, on this fill, totally you can do that. A lot of them have been doing it for a long time. A lot of it was bringing out that reset clay towel, making it so it could happen that way. It really works with the ultra clay towel and the reset towel. They're sister towels. So
there you go.
Rodri saying, I pulled up Levi Gates' SOP. It went to the TRC website, but it said it currently has no articles. Weird. We'll have to look that up and see what's going on. But used to be able to have that. You go. You can also check the Rag Company's website. Go to theragcompany.com. Go to FAQs.
Yes.
And in the FAQ section, it should have Levi Gates' standard operating procedure.
What I'd appreciate is if a few of you, just from different spots, could go try and look for it and see if you could find it so we could tell if it's a problem
otherwise we'll
specifically
tell our
with their computer or if it's really missing.
Yep. Yeah, we'll look up. There's one I see also. So, all right. Kimberly saying, greetings, thankful for all you guys letting this gal hang out, making me feel welcome. Special thanks to the cleaner and Mr. Dewar if they're here. Mr. Dewar was here.
They're around.
Yeah. Dino saying, hello, boys. What's going on?
Nope.
And then Simon Birch, David Boyce saying no article available on the Levi Gates' SOP.
I wonder if it got scooted around.
I'm going to try and pull this up real quick and see if I can find it. Dane, if you want to take on these next ones here.
Of course, yeah. So, thank you, David, for the heads up. We got Simon Bach, a.k.a. Birch, in the house.
Nice.
Nice to see you there, buddy. And Manny popping in and say, I just tried out the Edgeless 365, and wow. My new favorite overall towel. Manny, you made a good choice. The 365, you really can't go wrong with it. It's got that perfect density for the type of all-purpose sort of towel it is, but it can do virtually anything. And I would say the slightly more dense companion to that could also do just about everything would be the FTW.
There it is.
If you haven't tried the FTW.
All right, everybody, here's how you're going to find it. Go to theragcompany.com, click on FAQs on the website, bottom of the website. Then scroll down, they changed it. Now it says standard operating procedure.
So they spelled it all out.
It used to say Levi Gates' SOP, and now it is just standard operating procedures. So there is a detailing interior standard operating procedure, and there is a exterior detailing standard operating procedure, and there is a prepping wash bay standard operating procedure. And it's right before returns and exchanges. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but
probably a little tough to read.
Just right there.
The point being,
you can find it right under.
You can find it.
It's on the FAQ. So scroll down to where it says standard operating procedures, and then you can do that.
But hopefully now that clears it up for anybody who is a little lost.
Yeah, and like Darren said, print them out, laminate them, keep them near you, and that way you've always got an idea of, you've always got me with you, helping you figure it out. So
well, and if your ego won't let you, you can always just cross his name out and write your name.
I don't think it
where
has
Levi
my name
has
on
his name on it.
I think it
and
just,
just have it say insert your name here's
yeah
standard operating.
No, it
procedure.
does. It just says standard operating procedure. So the new version will literally just not have my name on it.
It took the personality right out of it. All right.
Simon saying finally got my 5 gallons and 532 ounces of Absolute the other day. Sadly. Been sick ever since and haven't tried it yet. No worries, man. We totally understand.
That's all right.
You got the whole winter. You're going to enjoy it.
You will have opportunities.
Yep. Hayden saying, Simon, don't worry. You got the whole winter. You're going to love Absolute. And then Dino says, Anthony got fired for too much sniffing on SEMA. Yeah, right.
I mean, he does do that a lot. And yeah, no, get him near a product. It's game over.
And then Darren agreeing with me that clusters just scratch so easy, so you need to be careful with those.
Yeah.
And then Simon says, Hayden, actually, I'm reselling it. Oh, no. And then Simon, been waiting for PNS too long to arrive here in Europe. And then Hayden, nice, own a store or something. More like a side hustle to my detailing business. Very nice.
Okay, yeah.
Hugo, hey, guys, almost missed the show. Greetings from Austria. What's up, Hugo?
Greetings. Still love that little Lotus. Every time
would still love to have a store, but would likely be a part of actual details when it finally get built. Nice.
Okay.
Dino, guys, did it ever happen to you that if you used a product and that day or next got sick, I know you can't bear that smell. Oh, and now I know you can't. I used KCX AF the same day.
Foam?
Active Foam was thrown up. Now
he's talking about like memories that get tied together, where it's not the product's fault, but it's just a smell you had.
Yeah,
so you
I used to get that when I was
an
alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. No, I can see that because when you have a really powerful memory and there's a powerful pungent smell to go along with
Yeah.
it. Good or bad.
Normal for me, it was alcohol
connects.
because that's what made me throw up. But I've never, I don't, like, even when I'm sick, I don't throw up usually. And it's not a scent that makes me throw up.
Yeah, okay.
It might just because my scent receptors are all burned out from years of
That could also be.
hydrofluoric acid. But sorry,
Didn't
Dino.
help.
That's a bummer, man. Now that I can smell it, I can barely contain my. I'm sorry, buddy. That's bad.
Man, I'm sorry.
Daniel, holy cow.
Whoa, okay. We'll go over here.
From Canada, $100 from Daniel. Is that right, CA?
Holy
Long-time podcast listener, new to the live stream.
the-
Thanks for teaching this noob how to enjoy taking care of my cars and being so fun to listen to. The advice on... I don't know what it is.
There we go, up here.
The advice on tree sap worked like a charm. Keep being awesome. Thank you,
Excellent.
Daniel.
Yeah, I know.
Appreciate that.
And for those who are wondering, hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Daniel Meow, everybody. Very nice.
Did
Thank
you
you.
call him Meow?
I did.
All right, Daniel. Hopefully you don't mind that, but thank you so
We
much.
give everybody a
Very
nickname.
kind. That will actually be going to a good
we
cause.
got something we're trying to work out. We'll
Something
see.
planned next week.
Surprise you
so,
guys for next
yeah.
week. Kirby Thompson confirmed on my end on the search, but I do have a copy on my computer. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Kirby. Fazal says, I just checked the SOP via Google search and same came up as a blank article.
That's probably
Yep.
an old catalog.
Yeah, it's probably the old
version.
catalog. So go to the ragcompany.com, scroll down to FAQs, and then you'll see it there, standard operating procedure.
But if Thomas or Maddie or somebody named Nate is watching this, they could pass a word along and get it recatalogued, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be great. And maybe put my name back on it. David Blowy saying, what's up, guys? What's
Hey,
up, man? And then Fazal says, found it by going directly to the TRC website and the FAQs. Yep, it's there. Harry Housewife, absolute, honestly, cannot stop using it. Crazy to think a month ago I was a rinseless virgin. Now I feel like a rinseless Jedi. Welcome, my son.
Wow.
Hugo Fireflies, is it normal that the fibers of the creature towel stick together and form small clumps? Were they dried with a high heat?
Yeah, the drying process is going to be a big factor.
That's
there.
the question.
Yeah, you can dry with the machine, but I always recommend air fluff or like extremely low heat because anything more than that's going to be a problem.
Fog asking a real important question. Just picked up some solution finish. Do you recommend tossing any applicators or towels used in applying it, or is it washable? I would recommend tossing them, but first, anything that you use, I recommend you dry it first before
very important.
you throw them in the trash. Here's the reasons. Take your applicator pad, put it on the ground, on the concrete, just let it sit. Take the towel that you use to wipe up everything and clean everything up, unfold it, just lay it on the concrete. Let it sit for 24 hours, okay, out in the open. What I do at my house is if I use solution finish, I just put them out on my driveway, like right by my garage, like away from my garage door, just on the driveway, and let them dry. When I had my detail shop, my guys, when they were done with their solution finish stuff, would go set them out front of the shop, in front of the garage doors, and they just set them out. We were going to throw them away the next day anyway, but what it does is it lets those surfaces dry and ventilate. Reason is sometimes you are working with certain chemicals, and if you're throwing those soaking wet, I just never, anything that has a little bit of solvent or anything in it, or an oil, any type of petroleum or anything, I never try to put it in the trash can dry, soaked. So I always would hang anything. We do the same thing with thinner rags. If we were using thinner on a car, lacquer thinner, it was just throw those towels on the ground, let them dry, because the goal was I didn't want to put things that could have flammable vapors.
I was going to say, same reason you don't light up at a gas pump.
Right, same thing. I don't want to put them all in a trash can throughout the day, and then, because I'd have my trash cans out by my garage door, like right by there, so that it didn't, it didn't smell. But I'd put them there, and I would have guys go outside and smoke.
Yep.
Right? And the last thing I needed was them standing by a trash can and lighting a cigarette and having that just vapor just in the trash can captured. And all of them, one of them turns around and goes to flick their cigarette in the trash, and I've got a little
tiny little spark, and next thing you know, it's just poof.
It's the same thing back in the old days. They're like, don't stack newspapers. And don't keep oily rags around because you stack all that up.
Sawdust combusts.
Yeah,
there's all kinds of stuff.
Anything that starts to build, it builds pressure. And so,
especially if you put it into a small concentrated area
like
where
a waste
cannot
basket.
breathe.
Yeah, so that's why I say, lacquer thinner towels, anything you're doing with like solution finish, I always try to make sure I just leave them out for
Hold on a sec. I
24
gotta find
hours.
what page we're on because it jumped around. Okay, there we go.
All right.
Boom.
Yellen, Grant Hawtree saying, Coach Kemi H9.
Nice. Thank you for joining with the product yellers.
Yep. Harry Housewife confirming. And then Simon Bach, remember to drop that like, folks. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Hayden, I had no idea. Oh, I've had that happen before with Coach Snow Foam. I think it's a mental thing, honestly. Possibly, yeah.
All right.
Harry House, yep. One drunken night put me off battered fish.
Darren,
I can
I'm just
see
going to
that.
say, maybe you shouldn't have been hitting the fish. What did it ever do to you? Whether you're drunk or not, doesn't matter. Just don't do it.
Hayden
All right.
saying, what up? Simon saying, just ordered some Diamond Body 36 and wheel to test out. Really excited to see how it turns out. Awesome, man. I'm mostly used to the G-Technic stuff. Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Used KCX GSF for the first time last weekend. Smells so nice and foam's great. Next in line to try this weekend, some Absolute. Nice, Fazal. Have fun with that. Hayden going, meow. And then Daniel with the fires.
We're
with Darren
all over
saying,
here. You guys.
And then thank you guys. Mitchell and King saying, hi, hey guys, what's up, man?
Hey.
How are you?
Hey.
Been using some of their products too. And then Daniel meow saying
He's in
meow.
on it.
All right.
We're good.
And then Hayden, a lot of people ruin their towels thinking leaving the dryer on high is okay. Dry those babies on a low heat, please.
Yeah.
Always low heat or no heat, I say. And then Hayden, that's what we said.
Yep.
Rotary, I hit care instructions right below returns and exchanges, and it just shows microfiber care. Weird. That's strange why it says that. I'm looking at it right here on mine. I'll have them check.
Somebody on the other end, if they can comment below the actual link to it so you can just go straight to it, that'd be much appreciated. So thank you in advance. Lomos Ticas here.
Hey, Levi, you recently had an interview in SEMA talking about the clay towel mitt and wanted to confirm that it won't mar the paint even on soft paint. I own cars that are all on the soft side, thanks. So, Lomos Ticas, that is entirely dependent on you.
And lubrication.
Proper lubrication, and proper pressure. When we say it won't mar, it's because
in the conditions we subject them to.
We don't use any pressure. We literally just let the towel glide. I try to keep my hand almost off the surface, but enough to hold it on the surface. Does that make sense?
But a lot of people's first instinct
a lot of liquids, a lot of stuff, and that way it can glide across the surface. If you are putting pressure on it and you are forcibly rubbing all over it, then yes, you will get marring.
It can happen.
I can't stop that because you could do that with a normal microfiber towel. You'll scratch the snot out of it if you put too much pressure and just sit there and rub. So ours is designed. Two things. Hone. Use it on all the glass first. Clean your glass with the clay towels first and clay mitts and clay scrubbers to break it in. Do that. I recommend that starts with doing all your glass and make sure you rub all the sides and corners and everything of the mitt to make sure that you get all the hard edges knocked down and it gets smooth before you go in the glass. Make sure you're using the right clay lube. And this is when I recommend using Absolute or ONR at 128:1 because it works better when you can dunk and you can soak and the unit has liquid in it. Because that permeability allows water to create that cushion in between the surface. You don't use any pressure.
Yeah.
You hired it to do the work. Don't do the work yourself.
Classic Ivan line.
Let it just do its thing. You don't need to do anything else but guide it. That's it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
No pressure. All right. Ken Jeeper saying late to the party. Haha. See Matt's attempt with Dreammaker? I did not. No.
No. Oh, no. The fact you call it an attempt, though, makes me wonder how that turned out.
Yeah.
It's not hard to...
Rodri saying, can you put a link in the chat for it?
Okay. I already asked for that, so hopefully somebody does.
All right.
All right. Back to page 1. Hayden.
Dino sent it to the States, Utah. I don't know what that's in reference
I'm not sure
to.
what that's in reference to.
You can pick up the Diamond Body 36 here if you want it.
Yeah.
Dino says that Harry Housewife one drunk night put me off McDonald's for a year. Yeah, I could see that. Hayden says, let the oily rags dry or throw them in a metal garbage can that can be meant for shop rags. Exactly. Dino says, if you're paying for the shipping, I'll send it. Rodri, is the step-by-step a YouTube channel? No, it's not.
No. Step by step is literally just giving you the steps for the procedure.
Yep. Grant Hotry says, Levi, we usually chuck them in a bucket of water. That's perfect. Moessa, how can I safely clean piano black trim? I always seem to get scratches from even very light touches. Moessa, so here's the problem. Piano black, the clear coat on it is not really clear coat, not automotive grade clear coat. It's a clear urethane or polyurethane that they kind of just toss on there from the manufacturer that manufactures all the piano black for a number of companies. So there are no hardeners. There are no hardeners in it. So they are going to scratch very easily. So if it was me and I had bought a brand, like let's just say I go out, Dane, what car do you think I should buy? Brand new.
You're out there looking.
What do you think? Maybe I give me a new S7 with the piano black option.
All right.
Right? Well, Audi S7, right?
Yeah.
Maybe an RS7, right? When I have money to do that with.
An S7 with a tune will blow the doors off an RS7, so you could just do that.
I could do that. So I'm going to pull all the piano black.
Okay.
All of it. I'm going to disassemble it.
Yeah, no, just
B-pillars.
replace it all with something else.
I'm pulling it all off.
Even if it's just fake carbon fiber. Replace the gloss
Pulling
black
it all
with
off.
something else.
Here's what I'm going to do, Dane.
Yeah.
Going to go take them down to a body shop.
Ooh, you're going to get new clear on them?
I'm going to have them put real clear on them.
Maybe like some 2K or something?
Better than 2K.
Ooh.
Maybe some PPG.
Oh, all right.
You know, I want some extra hardener in it.
Yeah,
I want it so hard that it can't scratch, right?
Okay.
Then I'm going to take them back and I'm going to reinstall everything.
Okay.
And then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because I have real clear coat. Then I can polish it. Then I can coat it. Then I could put PPF on the exterior stuff if I wanted to. Or I could just leave it. I could polish it and coat it and not worry about the scratches. Because Dane and I once met a guy who literally worked for the manufacturer that manufactures all the piano black products. We've met him. We met him at Detailer's Domain. He says, we supply all the piano black plastic stuff for Volkswagen, Audi, Bentley, Mercedes.
Yeah, because you guys are like,
for North America.
And he was just like, all of them.
He's like, those guys. And we were like,
that's
holy crap, what do you guys use? And he was like, you'd laugh. It's basically like a hobby level clear for like testers models.
Because
like
it's not going on the exterior of the car. They can get away with using a weaker, cheaper,
he goes, yeah,
whatever.
No. He says it drives him nuts because he goes, as a detailer, I know what
that's
that
a
is.
Nightmare.
Yeah. So,
and like smart like car reviewers will always comment on how much gloss black or piano black, as it's sometimes called, is being used in an interior. Because to some people, like me, that's something I would pay attention to if I was shopping for a car. I want to know, oh, this is heavy on the gloss, finishes. Because the only reason it's cynical. I think the only reason they put them in there is because it looks good in press photos. Then as soon as it's done looking good in press photos, because it looks luxurious and fancy and shiny and nice. Yeah. The second you actually get in one, though,
engine turned.
If you get in one that's been a rental or Turo'd like rental or something like that, after about 6 months to a year, the whole interior is just a nightmare of marring and scratches in every imaginable way. And it ruins the visibility of the surface. It no longer has that sheen. You could try polishing it, but you wind up going through, and it's just... terrible. Awful. Yep. Don't recommend it.
So, short of that, you can try and polish it a little bit, but it's not, the clear coat's not even real clear coat. So it's not even like a clear that can usually be polished sometimes.
Yeah.
So have fun though. Good luck. Hayden, lol, I do pyrotechnics and had an uncle lighting up 2 feet from me during a show setup. And I was like, really?
Yeah. Really?
So fun story. I once had a dude that literally said, that had a lacquer thinner rag, and he grabbed it, and he had just got done wiping down a car, and he literally pulled a cigarette. He threw the towel over his shoulder, soaking wet solvent towel onto his shoulder, pulled a cigarette out of his pack, pulled the towel off his arm because it was starting to get cold, right? Remember when I gave you some lacquer thinner? You're like, my hands are starting to get cold.
Oh, it gets chilly real fast.
Yeah, his shoulder started getting cold. So he was like, oh, pulled it off. Yeah. And then he was like, He had his towel, he had the cigarette in his mouth. He grabbed the towel, switched hands, used the towel with the soaked in lacquer thinner as a wind block because the wind was blowing, went to light his cigarette. The whole towel ignited and incinerated itself in a matter of seconds, and it blew his hat off of his head.
Because there's a rush of air.
Because it was like, and it popped his hat off, and he was like standing there looking at me, and he still had the cigarette in his mouth, and it wasn't lit.
It feels like a Three Stooges bit.
It was the best thing I ever saw. And by the time the towel hit the ground...
Did he still have eyebrows?
They were singed.
Oh, okay, okay.
By the time that towel hit the ground, it was completely disintegrated. Like, it was
There was hardly anything left on the ground.
There was nothing left. It was nuts. So, totally get it. And Mitchell and King, you're right.
Yeah.
That weirdly does come from linseed oil. It's self-combustible, and you said wet rags can just ignite. Exactly.
Well, and microfiber towels.
Microfiber towels are very flammable, technically.
Yes, so you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, it is a flammable product.
Left to their own devices, you're fine. But when you introduce stuff to them, yeah, I mean.
But that's why I just have a rule. Anything that has a solvent or a petroleum base, I'm going to dry it out before I throw it in the trash can. Yep. And that's the number one rule. And that was a rule in my shop going forward. And I had metal trash cans in my shop. I didn't buy the blue plastic Rubbermaid trash cans. I always got metal trash cans. And that was on purpose because they still sell them. You can still buy them. But I bought them because of the fact that it was easier to, if something caught on fire, because I always had dudes that wouldn't put their cigarette out and they would throw it in the trash can. And then all of a sudden there'd be paper or something catch on fire. It just happened. You know, you do it enough times, law of averages is that. That's the reason I've driven over 40,000 cars and I've been in like 6 wrecks. So but I'm still a really safe driver based on those averages.
There you go.
So Hans Closen yells out Dane Hennon.
Hey, right here.
Dino says, yeah, I would love to see that. I'm going to have to watch this. Hugo, what's the maximum amount of dirt contamination for doing a rinseless? Is there a limit without a pre-rinse? So... it really in how much comfort you have doing rinseless. I will tell you, after doing rinseless washes for 8 years, nothing really scares me.
You've tackled all kinds of stuff.
I just try and get the mud off of a car.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't pre-rinse something. You can go at a vehicle with a pressure washer first, knock stuff loose.
And I've even not done a pressure washer.
Shoot it with APC or something.
I've just used my pressure sprayer, my IK Multi.
Yeah.
And I've just sat and rinsed out things. Or like I said, you guys, I use my air gun and that, and I've just rinsed and blasted it off, rinsed, blasted it off, and then get the surface as clean as I can.
The main point, you want to avoid as much physical contact of moving around the big chunks on the surface as possible, because that's where your problem.
But if we're going mud bogging,
you expect
I'm not going to rinseless wash that. I'm going to get a pressure washer out first to knock all the mud off, because I'm going to do the exact same thing I'm going to do. Yeah. If I was going to use soap.
Yeah. But at that point, I would be using deliberately a stronger soap to break the stuff down too, like an active foam or super foam or something like that.
But I look at it that way where people go, oh gosh, I have all this dirt on the surface. How much is too much?
Even like standard off-roading, you could still get away with
it's the same.
rinseless.
It's literally the same that I would use if I was using soap.
Yeah.
The difference is my pre-wash, my pre-soak regimen.
Your regimen changes up front.
That's it. If I went mud bogging, if you and me, Dane, took our cars out, we went mud bogging and we pulled them up, and you'd be like, I'm going to use soap, I'm going to use rinseless. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But we're both pulling into a pressure spray to pressure wash all the mud off of our vehicles, and then we're going to pull them out. All right, let's go. You start soaping yours up, I start rinselessing mine up, and then I dry mine, and you rinse yours one more time.
I think
that's
people get it in their heads that if you use rinseless, you're somehow compromising something.
No, you're just replacing soap.
Use rinseless.
That's all you're doing.
Anytime you would use soap, and it doesn't matter, because before you touch that vehicle with soap, you were still going to do something first to knock that stuff loose.
Exactly.
Why would you treat it any different because you're doing a rinseless? You could still do that.
Yep.
The rinseless part doesn't happen until afterwards when you're drying, and guess what? By that point, you can just dry it off. You're fine.
You don't have to rinse it one more time.
Because if you've done your job correctly,
Rinseless.
at the end, that's where it's different. Before, though,
there you go.
Yeah.
Slay a Penguin says, I received a Diamond Protect Diamond Body Kit in a mystery rag bag ordered. After applying, do you have to throw away the microfibers used with the ceramic coat as with the ceramic coat? So
it's a topic of debate. I wouldn't use them to do another ceramic.
If it's been too late and you haven't done anything to try and soak them or stop them, then I would say they're bad. If you were in the process of installing Diamond Body and you had a bucket of Rags to Riches with like an ounce of Rags to Riches or even Absolute or something in there, I would throw the towels into the water to stop the coating drying, and then I would just wash the towels after that.
Yeah.
Keep them wet. Lloyd.
Right.
What's up, Levi and Dane?
Hey,
Now the Rupo's Uno Advanced is out with longer protection. Do we still need Uno Protect? Compare and contrast the two. Your thoughts. So,
it's up to you, man.
Large question, no.
You might as well go with the longer protection
in reality,
if that matters to you.
No. However, I will say Uno Protect has a little more body to it.
Okay.
In the sense that you can get a little more correction out of it.
It did seem a little thinner when I was using the Uno Advanced on that.
It's a little more liquidy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you technically it's still part of the regimen. Like I still have both in my arsenal.
Right.
And I find that sometimes Advanced is just a little too too watery. So in terms of your correction ability, I think you're going to get greater correction out of Uno Protect than you would out of Uno Advanced.
So maybe that is kind of a point why it's still relevant.
Yeah, so if it's something where you're like, it could be a fine second step process, so you could still compound or do something with it, do something else beforehand, and then finish it with Advanced.
So if you're working on a customer's car, you really want to see the vehicle's finish and see what you're going to have to do before you decide one or the other, and also figure out what your customer's looking for.
But I will say I've had some really good luck with it, so I don't.
It's good. But I was going to say, we have reached the top of the hour, which means time for a brief little break. We got some messages to show you. Don't worry, these are cool videos. These are videos that we've made or our friends have made, and we'll be right back after this. So don't go too far. We'll be right back. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday right here at the TRCHQ. How's it going, Levi?
Oh, Dane, it's a beautiful, cold Thursday
afternoon, but it feels like winter.
So our water got shut off for today, so that was super fun because we had a leak. So we started off the morning with some full buckets of water so we could use the bathrooms here. It's been great.
That's more information than anybody.
Anyway, this is the second half of Q&A, and this is where we call it kind of the fun half. So we're about 20 minutes behind on comments. So just so everybody knows, that's where we are right now.
We're only one page behind.
Yeah, we're good, but we do try to answer all of your comments, all your questions. So bear with us.
And a reminder, if you have a question or comment and you've kind of been shy and holding back, don't hold back. Let us know.
Yeah.
Leave it out there. It's fine. Even if it's
for those of you catching in the second.
Challenging is okay too.
And those of you just jumping in, getting into the second half, Anthony Fisher is home with his brother. His brother's in town, and so he said he will be back next week.
Yeah.
He apologizes for not being around for you guys. So, kicking it off, second half, Robert Kane saying Diamond ProTech 36 consumer versus Pro 36. So, Robert, to answer your question, Pro 36 is going to be available for the Pro installers that are going to that'll be a certified, authorized installers. Pro 36 is a larger bottle of Pro 36. That's the difference.
But yeah, I know some people are going to think, wait, what? But
that's
on those
the fun
specific ones, that is where the difference
That's the difference on Diamond Body 36 and Pro 36.
Once you go to the 60 and 120, it becomes
60 and 120 is completely different.
Story.
But that basically means you are getting a pro level coating in that Diamond Body 36.
Yeah.
So, Faisal says Link seems to be back up for the SOP. That's right. I just got confirmation out there when we were replacing some of we've been doing a lot of replacing things on the pages on the web, like we did the YouTube. Got
literally transferred it from my old email address.
It was it was like Dane at his house.com.
Because that's when I made this YouTube channel. It was all
we've been going through, and
we had no company.
The company has been going through and trying to prioritize and get all of our emails, all of the different company accounts.
Make it more official.
More official and more efficient. And so one of that was our website hosting. And they said when they changed the hosting, that was one thing they forgot. And they just forgot to put my name on it. They forgot to post it that way. So they reattached it. It's back in there. You should be able to see it. They said you could see it on a lot of stuff, but it was probably not populated on certain people's things. So it should be back. Go take a look.
Boom.
All right. Harry Housewife.
Oh, Darren.
Gotta make sure you lube it up before giving it a rub. That's right. That's that's the main thing.
That's a second half comment if there ever was
Ken
one.
says, nailed it, Dane. It wasn't pretty.
Ken loves his Audis.
And Faisal saying, Dane, bro, loving that plaid shirt. My wife wouldn't let me buy any more plaid clothing.
Well,
that's a shame.
That is a shame.
Faisal, are you buying Dixon flannels? Because that's where usually
there are regular plaid shirts and then there are Dixon.
Yeah, there are regulars and then there's Dixons.
The flannels are serious.
That's what
they
these say.
Stay so warm, it's insane.
They're very nice. I ordered the new Raven on Friday, so
and they're flattering for somebody
Sunday.
with a less than perfect body type like me. So I really like it. Hayden, S7, fire.
Yep.
Yes.
Hayden put a clear wrap on it. There you go. Ken Jeeper, I'm looking at a 17 RS7 Performance.
Ooh, now that is good bang for your buck right there.
Yeah, I like that car.
Yeah, I get a little spooked by Audi electronics and older models and not having a warranty. But then again, I'm the high miles, no warranty guy. So, your mileage may vary.
Simon says, thank God it's not going to be that bad. When I asked my auto painter to make my hi-fi furniture piano black.
Now, see, the difference is, though, your hi-fi, like I'm assuming like speaker shells and stuff like that, you're not touching that every day and like futzing around with it. The problem with automotive piano black is that it's almost always on high traffic surfaces, touch points that happen constantly. You're adjusting your temperature controls, your climate, and your seat controls and stuff like that. And it's like, why does that have to be piano black? Because that's where the smudges and the scratches and the foggy terribleness happens.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
And Simon says, my Fiat is like white plastic that swirls so easy. Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Simon says, plan is still to ceramic coat it 1 year later. That's smart. Hayden Law, he's lucky he didn't become a human fireball.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
that's hilarious. Victor Manuel saying, does Diamond Protect coatings require the same maintenance, such as an SiO2 coating? SiO2 sealants every 3 months and that no. So they do make a topper that you can or cannot use if you don't want to.
It's up to you.
I think the funniest thing that I found when we were spending time with them in their lab, in their facility, manufacturing the products, was explaining that because we brought up that question.
Yeah.
And their chemist goes, no, why would it need it? And I said, well, most coatings need to be reapplied or they do this. And I kind of explained the old Swiss cheese model that Ivan and Dr. G used to talk about between the difference between an SiO2 silicon dioxide coating and a SiC silicon carbide coating. And when I explained the differences, they had told me originally that SiC, this is Optimum and Dr. G and Ivan would say that SiC was like, if you think of a coating as a piece of cheese, an SiO2 based coating, silicon dioxide, which is the most prolific, SiO2, we've all heard that term, starts to turn from cheddar, like a slice of cheddar cheese, to a slice of Swiss cheese. It becomes very holy.
Okay.
An SiC coating stays that piece of cheese, but collects junk on it.
Right.
So then you have to clean the coating.
Yeah.
Where in SiO2, you have to fill those holes with a sealant to keep the coating working.
Yeah.
The SiC, you just need to clean the surface.
Because it gets filled by not good stuff.
Right. So their theory, once I explained that to him, he goes, that's more in line like what our coating is, like the SiC coating. You really just need to clean the surface. And so they say that just a clay once a year should bring back plenty of hydrophobics. Yeah. But in the same time, they were looking at me like I was crazy when I was like, yeah, but what if it gets there? They're like, it's because it's just dirty.
It's because we live in a
dirty.
world.
Wash it.
Levi. It's because we live in a world of YouTube torture tests on products where people are convinced the second something apparently stops working that it is dead for good and not necessarily considering the fact that, well, maybe, just maybe, if you were to actually clean it, it would come back.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of tests where somebody was smart enough to understand that, and they went and they tested again. They went, holy crap, it came back. And then you see others where people are like, I knew it because they wanted to not like something. And then,
so for you guys wondering, I have Pro 120 on my car, and we're going on almost 2 years with Pro 120 on the paint.
The paint on that Camry looks stupid good.
I can wash it today, and it's clean. And honestly, my wife, it was raining the other day. And when I moved it out of the garage to pull the Subaru in that I was working on, I was looking at it, walking around laughing because the car was clean. And I was like, I haven't washed this thing in 6 weeks now. And it just looks great.
Yeah.
So, no, but they do make a topper called Diamond Quick Body that you can use if you want to top up your coating if you'd like. But reality, you're not really topping up the coating. You're just putting another light coating on top of a coating.
But even when you're doing that, how often would you really say is advisable?
Don't even need to do that. That's the crazy thing.
But I mean, like, if you're going to do it, to not overdo it, how big a gap before?
Once a year.
Okay.
Realistically.
So annual at most.
Yeah, and if you need to put something on it, then I would recommend like paint gloss as a drying aid, or I would recommend Glatt, or I would recommend
because you're
Silky,
not trying to add protection on top of it, because the coating in that case performs so much better if you don't disguise its abilities with something else that'll then force it to be confronted by the inadequacies of whatever you put on top of it.
And if you want to do it, just use Diamond Quick Body over the top of it.
The coatings are incredibly resistant to everything from chemicals to all kinds of stuff. So they'll hold up.
Yep.
You just got to trust in them.
Yeah, it's surprising. Grant Hot Tree, Levi, that's hilarious. I know
about the guy.
Pretty wild to watch in person. Kevin Kook, ever used Jet Shine nanotechnology? No, Kevin, I've never even heard of
But Jet Blast is what your buddy got.
Yeah. So. Grant Hot Tree, 46 square feet of mud is the answer for Rensless. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then Jeff says, Matt tried Dreammaker on his E36 that he just finished coating a few days before. He sprayed it heavy and bailed on it immediately. Matt is awesome, but a little impatient sometimes. He does
get impatient, yes.
Yeah.
We know and love the guy, but we also know, like, you can't necessarily trust him to like something, even if you think it's a sure thing. It's never a sure thing with him. I told
But Matt is also, I will say, Matt's the first guy that if we told Dave this, showed this to Dave, hey, Matt did this, he would call him and go, you use too much.
Yeah.
And he'd go, I know, it's just the way I like to do it.
And then at that point, you're like,
well, the product's not going to work because you use so much of it.
What you do if you don't change what you do.
Yeah, you need to use a little less, bud.
Yeah.
So Hayden says, I've replaced soap with rinseless, just pre-spray and pre-treated the panels, no scratches. Nice, there you go.
All right.
Hugo, how would you deep clean a hard top on a Jeep Wrangler? You would use the rag top kits that we have here at the Rag Company. You use a brush. You can use the color lock brushes. You could use the black carpet brush that we have, or tire brush that we have. It's a little softer bristle. You could use a green body brush, and you could use the rag top kit for Jeeps.
I'm also going to ask, because
that's how you deep clean it.
Depending on the year of the Wrangler, the generation,
I'm assuming the
there's
soft
different
top
materials. So he says hard top, but I'm thinking the unpainted hard top. So like the kind of black texture.
Yeah, if you're doing that, you're just washing it normal
kind of deal. Yeah, because if it's a painted one, you treat it like the paint.
Yeah.
But if it's a hard top, that's just that kind of textury stuff that's standard,
Same.
like on a TJ or
Same.
a YJ.
You just wash it.
JK's might be a little different.
If it's white, same way. Just degrease it, scrub it, clean it.
Yeah.
Dino says, just saw Matt's video. Haha, he sprayed 6 times on half of a hood and took a gauntlet, not folded, wiped it a bit, then over with the FTW, and it streaked everything. Yeah, he really only needed 2 sprays for that entire hood.
You really
one
don't
on
need
either
to do
side,
more.
and that's it.
It's not a protective product.
And an FTW with a little bit sprayed on it. That's it.
It's just a little on the surface, goes a long way.
Yeah, he went too much with it.
Yep.
Hayden, Matt's a cool guy, lots of money, not much common sense sometimes. No.
It happens,
Just like I said, it's how he does stuff, and that's what he likes.
Yeah.
So Grant said, depending on budget or type of Gucci car, I'd use Uno Advanced over Protect. Simply the cost of Advanced is almost triple to Protect in my market. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Or if you're using it instead of maybe you're charging instead of like for a 1-year coating. Because this stuff's a legit coating.
If you're using Advanced, you should be charging different for the service.
No,
because the protection you're offering is twice that of the other.
Like I said, guys, I have it on the red truck. I put it on after we filmed the Cheap Car Challenge. I put it on, and it amazes me how good that truck looks and how shiny and glossy it is.
We did my van the other day for a video that'll be coming out sometime in the future. But when we worked on the van, my van's paint is, it's
like
not
7 different paint jobs.
It's like multiple resprays, kind of different color up front, super thin. Anthony managed to burn through it with a eraser wheel. Like, it's had a lot done to it. But we used Uno Advance, and I was shocked at how
much
beautiful
depth,
and
how much
smooth
gloss came out.
It brought out something that I thought for sure, that's thin. But it managed to do an amazing job making it look its absolute best it possibly could. And I noticed every single morning I go out there, the freeze doesn't stick to it. There's no ice on it compared to the roof where I know we didn't put as much up top. It's very clear where the difference is where it's on the sides. Below, nothing. It's just smooth as can be. And it's not like it's a perfectly vertical surface either. They kind of bow out.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just saying I'm really impressed with it.
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
Beautiful.
I think that's a perfect candidate, Dane, is Liz's little Hyundai.
Yeah.
I think you could do that to the Hyundai, and you would be, it was so fast and easy for you to do, but it would brighten up that car, especially that red that it has on it.
Oh yeah, the red
I think
on
it would
that
look.
is,
I think it would look great, and I think you'd be like,
pop.
"Whoa, wow, this is cool."
I just need to get the dents out of it first.
Hayden saying it's encapsulating. And Anthony, all day Anthony popping in. Well, that's nice of him to jump in here.
Yeah, look at that.
Too bad Anthony's not here to see this.
I know.
They did such a good job with this commercial. Instant classic. Thank you.
Hey, all day
Appreciate
Anthony.
that.
Make sure you tell Anthony hi for us.
Yeah, I hope you've seen him. Nate Marcy saying Rupes wool versus Rupes microfiber. Is there a need for microfiber if I already have wool? I found the wool cut better than the McGuire's version of a heavy cut microfiber. Am I missing out? So, this is Buffing 101, kids. Here we go. Ready? Wool is amazing and has been used for 100 years to polish things. Wool runs cooler and can finish better than microfiber. Wool works specifically on all paint types, but does really well on soft clear. And can finish very well. Microfiber is a very new technology technically, not compared to wool pads.
Yeah.
Microfiber has insane cutting capabilities.
But it develops a lot of heat.
Generates massive amounts of heat.
Lots of heat.
Is only truly designed for hard clear coats that have the ability to take and handle that level of heat and the level of micromarring that can ensue because of the fact that microfiber is millions of fibers. And what I say is they act like samurai swords. Many swords slinging across that paint, and they are leveling it almost precisely. Where wool is able to level and do a really good job at cutting and polishing, but it's not going to be as precise as the microfiber. However, if you go microfiber right into soft paint, you're going to create a gummy mess. And you're going to mar the ever-living snot out. You're not going to get those mars out because it's so many knives in this gummy.
And foam is kind of like a happy medium, depending on what you're using. But the wool...
Foam can also generate a lot of heat. Foam generates a lot of heat, almost more than wool. So wool runs at a cooler temperature.
And the newer synthetic wools are amazing.
Yes.
Really
so that's the reason.
impressive.
There is a place for either one. The difference is wool runs cooler. So I always say this. Wool for soft, microfiber for extremely hard. So my wool kind of handles most of the work. My foam can handle all the work. And then my microfiber I reserve solely for certain things that I want to cut. Now, the new Rupes microfiber is quite possibly some of the best microfiber pads on the market today.
Because I will say, in all my experience seeing this stuff, I've never been impressed with the microfiber pad's ability to finish. It just doesn't seem to be something that's a feature. Whereas wool, you can finish beautifully with that stuff in the right hands, with the right mixture of liquid with it. But with the microfiber, it's
there's always a chance for micromarring.
Microfiber will do an awesome job of getting rid of those super nasty defects when you're in a hurry on some really thick German paint. Oftentimes the clear is really hard. That's kind of a frequent thing between the Mercedes and the Audis and the BMWs. But it just seems like something that's a very specific purpose. And outside of that vein, I'd rather use wool. Just a personal preference. But
there you go.
Yeah.
Hugo saying, I want to see that in the next Super Bowl. How awesome would that be? Dino saying, is that an all-day Anthony in the house?
Sure is.
Wow, impressive. I know, right? Harry Housewife saying, love, this is in a weird way what inspired my Liquidator
there
video.
You go.
I appreciate that, man. And then Simon saying, being sick on a Thursday does have its perks. Means I get to view the second half. Hooray! You're sick. Hugo,
we want you to get better, though. I promise.
Hugo, does Absolute feel different than O&R? On the paint sponge towel between the fingers, is the paint slick? So it is a little slicker.
Yeah.
I can feel a little bit slicker on the on the paint surface. I also watch my water behavior change a little differently.
It also couldn't look more different when you're actually mixing it and using the product. It looks different, for sure.
All Day Anthony, their Yeti buckets double as the perfect toilet. Durable, comfortable, and discreet.
Oh, no.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, no. Whoa, what's this?
Oh, Anthony Fisher's popping in.
Holy
It's
cow.
true. I haven't seen my brother in 2 years.
Gosh.
Happy to have him home for Thanksgiving. Isn't that
Look
great?
at that.
But they're going to go down to the Schnitzel Garden, pound down some schnitzel. Couple brothers.
You just reminded me of something. I heard, you know how we're getting like in and out and it's a big deal here?
Yeah.
There's apparently a Wiener Schnitzel also.
I know.
Here.
I saw that.
So that's kind of, wow.
Yeah. Hugo says, hope you clean it afterwards. There's just so much encapsulation O&R can do. So, so same thing as O&R. There's a massive amount of encapsulation that happens, just like Absolute. In fact, it was funny because Dr. G gave me a little tongue lashing and said, you realize you've said everything Absolute can do, O&R can do, has done for 16 years.
Yeah,
and
what
I said,
you described is what it...
Right.
Yeah.
There's not many other rinselesses on the market that have that strength of O&R that can do what O&R can do.
Which is why you felt like bringing it up, because it's like, holy cow, finally something that
we sell 8 different soaps, guys.
And nobody bats
and we
an
only
eye.
sold one rinseless. And how many rinselesses are out there?
And, you know, there's
so many.
A little, you know, edge is basically, when it comes to the whole rinseless thing, there were some people in the early days of bringing it Absolute where the comments were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You betrayed O&R. It's like this whole thing. Not realizing that, I don't want to toot our own horn here too much, but I'm pretty sure our channel was single-handedly responsible for bringing O&R to a lot more people.
Agreed.
For the very long period of time. It was the first product we ever carried in our store. It was the first product we carried at the right company.
Towels.
What I was to say, that was not a towel.
Yeah.
And that was a chemical, a liquid product.
It's the first
it was
chemical
the first thing we
company sold
carried.
too.
Because one of our employees was a big fan of it, used it all the time, and she said, hey, I'd like it if we could carry this product. I think it would be something that would pair well with our towels, make it easier for people coming to the shop. And next thing you know, that's how we started our chemical journey here at TRC. So we obviously appreciate everything O&R can do, but it also means we're extremely familiar with it. So when we actually decide something stands out to us in a positive way, there's a reason for that. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Just stressing that point.
Hayden says, I have 20 plus Dixon flannels. They're crazy. Yeah, that's right, man. That's how it goes. Like I said, we've all got a bunch of them. Even Dane's dad walks around rocking them. G. Davis, what do the assistant shift manager at the Express Cafe and the massage chair have in common? Both sent the message, Dane, you said you loved me.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
We already said that one, Hugo. Yep. Laughing and the goat. Anthony, G, you forgot to mention that they both make...
Oh,
Donuts.
No. I don't even want to figure out the wordplay there.
Simon Bach. It's actually Uni 231 V2 Hi-Fi Furniture. Nice.
Oh, sounds fancy.
And then G saying Anthony too soon. Dino, Donut Holes is the name of Dane's secret pyramid scheme business.
Oh, you guys are killing me. Oh, man.
Anthony, All Day Anthony says, I also enjoy a good piece of Swiss cheese with my coating.
Oh, boy.
And then Simon Bach, honestly, the auto painter was thinking I was crazy as I leveled it with 1500 and 3000 grit after getting it painted gloss black. At least he knew going in I'm not normal. There you go, buddy.
That's right. You're a little sharper than the rest. All right, we got G.
Darren the Harry. Oh, G. Davis saying, is it true Anthony will be judging the dented MTE? Dented milk. That's hilarious. I sure hope so.
This is over the scratch and dent section.
Harry Housewife, in bed with chocolate for the second half. That sounds like a great time, Darren. What kind of chocolates are you enjoying? Are they Cadbury?
Wow.
And then John saying Milwaukee or Makita DA polisher. So, I have never used the Makita DA. I have used the Milwaukee's. They're very nice. But that's all I can tell you, man.
A lot more seat time
Neil
with
White,
other polishers.
Hey, TRC. Hope you're all doing well. Can't wait for the Black Friday sale. Thank you, Neil. And then John Hole, the Harry Housewife. I'm on my way. Good vibes. And then G. Davis, hey, John, what are you doing? And then Dane, due to the rising cost of Disney World, I had to scale down our character breakfast. We'll now be dining with the B-grade characters, such as the disgruntled goat and horny hippo.
Oh my God.
Like I said, G's going to be there at Mobile Tech, and he is planning a full realm of festivities for you and him.
G. Davis, how many times do I have to say it's rude to say horny hippo? It's a rhinoceros, okay?
That's what those are called.
Yes.
Tyler Graff, maybe I missed it, but have you tried the Uno Advanced and Beadmaker combo? Is that even a thing with Uno Advanced? So, no, you don't have to do that. I honestly wouldn't, because it's got a ceramic in it, and the ceramic needs to set up.
The reason that kind of worked with the others is because the protection lasted about the same.
Sealants were the same.
You're in that same vein, but when you change it up to the 12-month, I mean...
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
Neil White saying, G. Davis, Disney After Hours is the way to go. Lots of stuff you won't see during the daytime. That sounds like a great evening for Dane and G.
Is there like a real world equivalent where I have to enter like an alphanumeric password just to access like on my Disney
Plus
account?
There's a uniform, I think.
Just because you're afraid Jessica Jones might swear or something?
Possibly. Harry Housewife, John, there's plenty of space, my man.
There you go.
Hayden, facts. I've always been a wool guy. Tried microfiber, hate it. Wool cuts crazy. Yeah.
There you go. No, wool can do a lot.
G says, thank you, Neil White. And then Hugo, can't really blame Matt for using too much. Have you seen Rennie Doyle applying Beadmaker? That's almost half the bottle for one hood. Yeah.
He likes using it too.
Rennie likes using it a lot. But that's actually what you're supposed to do, Hugo. That first coat of Beadmaker
the very
on a
first
vehicle,
time a car is introduced to it.
you have to do a lot of Beadmaker. You soak it in it. You got to let it sit for a moment or two. I try to do a couple panels at a time. But then once it's there, it's on there, man.
You never
That's
have
the hard
to do
part.
that much again afterwards.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people that always complain and go, "Oh, it doesn't last very long."
They think you're doing that every time.
It's because they don't do enough
Yeah.
in that initial coat, and then they do small amounts, and they never do a full legit strong coat because the monomers have to have time to flash and sit on the surface a little bit. They have to flip on the surface and do some stuff. So it's kind of a funky deal, but yeah, no, it's true. But that's how that product works. Dreammaker is a very different product.
You got it working right. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like people are like, oh, they both have Maker in the name. They must be similar. No, they're very different.
Yeah. Alex says, I'm in and out for the fun half. Thanks, Alan.
All right,
Alex. Jeff says, yeah, Matt has plenty of common sense. He just wanted to use it like he uses his drying aid, which he loves. Yeah, and that's the difference.
That's a common trait of his.
Totally different products.
For a good example of a similar problem, if you want to call it that, ran into with him, go and look up on his channel, on the Obsessed Garage channel, when we worked with him on IK sprayers. And in the end, I'll save you like an hour of watching. It basically became a matter of his expectations were very different from the reality that we showed was perfectly capable of doing the job. He wanted something where the show was a little different. Yeah. So, go check it out if you're curious.
David Boyce says, absolute feels like flexible rubber and gives my pearl paint a vibrant pop. There you go, man. Pop. Ryan L says, in and out sucks. 5 Guys for the win.
It's such a predictable comment. The funny thing is, like, I had 5 Guys.
We have 5 Guys.
We've had it. To me.
Well, we've had 5 Guys here for like a decade now.
Nobody's excited about it because they already have it here and they've had it for a long time.
G. Davis, I hope you guys will drop the unseen footage from Dane's bougie Italian adventure.
Oh, no.
Especially the part where Alex Dewar unexpectedly showed up dressed as a Greek shipping and olive oil tycoon.
Does he have like a monocle?
He had a monocle and a vest with a pocket watch, and I was very surprised.
Wow.
Also a mustache. It was quite strange. I don't know how he got onto your yacht. I think it was one of those water taxis.
Yeah, it had to be. No, somebody brought him out there somehow.
Hayden, when I first started following you guys, O&R was all you guys sold.
See?
Yeah, right, Hayden?
It's like we know a thing or two.
Yeah. Tom Kirby, thanks for today's Q&A and all the fun, losing daylight, and have a roof task to do before dark. Bye to all. Thank you, Kirby. Be safe on your roof, buddy.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, be safe.
David Boyce, because of your channel, I was introduced to O&R, the IK Pro 12 Foamer, Eagle 300, and the 1500, which I call the Matador. Nice, David.
It's red.
Very nice. Hugo, any advice on cleaning windows? My towel gets really grabby and starts linting when I remove the cleaner. Coach Kemi Speed Glass Cleaner. I used the TRC waffle towel. Very nice. So I would pair it with a applicator sponge, and I would soak the applicator sponge in your glass cleaner.
That's
what I would do.
With the sponges.
I think I really like that method. It keeps the drying towel drier and allows me to really work on getting and scrubbing some spots. Alex, G. Davis is going to be surprised when he goes to MTE and realizes it's not the Man-Tan exhibit he was expecting. MTE Man-Tan exhibit.
Oh, no.
It's funny.
The Man-Tan exhibition, I think, is what you're looking for. Yeah.
Simon Bach saying, how do you guys like the Zen tool, Zen 15E2 compared to the Rupes LHR 15? So, Simon, I've never used the Zen tool 15E2. I used the first Zen tool 21. I used to have them in my shop. That was back in 2015, 16.
Yeah, right around.
And then, but I've always just found, I've always just used Rupes. It's just easier, better. I always like the quality a little more.
Once you get into it, you're pretty much set.
But that's us. That was just us. We never brought on the Zen tool, even though we were an O&R Optimum distributor, similar to our friends at the Rag Company EU, which OCC Car Care or Optimum Car Care carries the Zen tool. So, Harry Housewife just found Dixon flannels in the UK. Boom! Christmas presents sorted for myself. There you go, man. It is an addiction.
It really is.
Just letting you know, bud. Frank L., do pads for Uno Advanced need to be reserved just for that product because of the ceramic or protection? Honestly, Frank, you're going to have to follow that same kind of procedure. It doesn't harden, but it does act just like a Uno Protect in the sense that like those pads, they're pretty much done and they're pretty much hydrophobic after that. So you're going to have to work through a process where you're going to be having to soak the pads, treat them like a towel with ceramic in them, get them wet, keep them wet.
Rags to riches help?
Rags to riches might help. I would recommend if you're using a pad washer to get them wet and clean them and blow them out before you save them for another time, because they do tend to have a little harder time cleaning up. Alex G says, Alex, that's where I met Jamie the Cleaner and Pan in 2020.
Yeah.
At the Men's Tan exhibition.
Ah, okay. Okay. I mean, Florida makes sense.
Dane's favorite company, Villain Supplies Reviews. Evening all.
I learned to say it's validating.
Simon Bach, how did you end up being employees at TRC? Well, Dane was born into the company.
Okay, this is going to sound like it's going to sound douchey. TRC, as you know it, I mean, just the name, the logo, that stuff. I was the reason, me doing the first step of going into the garage and helping move that stuff is that part of it. However, the company existed prior to that.
The company was always called the Rag Company.
It's always been called the Rag Company going back to 1999. And I'm saying this because we have a little time here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, want to talk about Bev and Dale, basically, the original creators, the owners of the Rag Company. And over time, Bev developed these amazing relationships with a lot of great clients and stuff. Just, she had customer service built into her soul. Like, that was what she was fantastic at. And it had always been a little garage business that they did in their retirement. Yep. So she handled the customer service, and he kind of did the shipping and the books at night. And that was kind of their move. But they ran that for several years until finally she wound up in hospice. And unfortunately, it was just the stress of all the stuff and everything. They tried, having their family take over. The family wasn't interested. And, at that point, it kind of became a little, open-ended, like, uh-oh, is this it? But basically, my parents found out through a mutual family friend that these folks were looking to sell their business. And my parents had always wanted to try and get out of their corporate jobs and that kind of thing. And they wanted to try and, take on some kind of business venture, like, we want to run our own shop. We want to be our own bosses. Try that. I mean, as detailers, I think you can all relate to that to some degree. Yeah. But in their case, it was always, we wanted to run like a little sandwich shop, like a Schlotzsky's or something they were looking at one time, or like all these little things, like a franchise
They wanted to do something because they both had their MBAs and they both wanted to have a little
corporate jobs.
They wanted a little pet project that they call their own.
So long story short, they wound up buying it with, frankly, to be honest, they overextended themselves at the time. They'll be the first to tell you that, like, probably didn't look the smartest on paper, but it was a risk we were willing to take. And the only reason they bought it was because I agreed to quit the 2 jobs I was working, where I had, a full traveling position at Home Depot. I was doing all this stuff. And I agreed to quit that to go start working in the garage initially by myself, just like packing orders, answering the phone, doing all that kind of stuff. And my parents would keep working their jobs. Yep. Until finally they got to the point. They would work
evenings and weekends.
Yeah, their involvement was doing the books and stuff in the evenings and just, following up on that. But I was handling the daily operations, the stuff that was happening on the floor, talking to people over the phone, filling out orders, and shipping those orders to customers. And got to meet a lot of interesting people that way in the early days. We didn't really have a presence in any specific spaces. It was like nice hotels would call us up and be like, all right, I'm ordering this much stuff for, sanitation stuff or various things. Mm-hmm. We weren't really a detailing focused company at the time, but I'm a car guy. So of course I was going on to forums looking where people are cleaning their cars and finding ways, how do I talk to people like that and get us involved somehow? So long story short, I found ways in there, inroads and talking to people. And next thing you knew, we kind of got more focused on detailing. And after a few cases of people talking about us on their own YouTube channels, we got a little blow up, and now we're here. So, there's a lot of building, and of course, you were the first detailer we involved directly.
Well, I was the first. I was a customer.
Yeah, you were a customer first.
But I was the first customer that really asked all the questions, because for me, I was hungry to learn about the product.
Yeah,
and your dad was willing to teach me, and that was the biggest thing. And we became really good friends, and I became good friends with his parents, and they would ask me questions. They would ask because they didn't know. And the company started getting big and big into detailing, and they didn't have anybody they could ask that was local. And so I kind of became an expert for the company. And then I started answering questions and doing customer service.
You were the subject matter expert.
Yeah, subject matter expert. And Dane's parents would call me while I was detailing cars. Hey, I got a customer on the line. Can you answer their question? And we did that
because honestly, we didn't know the first thing about detailing
we did that for almost 2 years while I was running my business, and then they offered me a full-time position. They weren't sure how it was going to work, and it took 9 months from when they offered me that full-time position till I could come on and start full-time, because I had to get rid of my business. And so but that's how we both kind of ended up as employees. And then Anthony was the same. Anthony was a customer that loved to come in and buy in towels because he did the same. He liked learning, doing researching, same time period as I was doing the exact same thing. And then he got laid off from a company that he was working for. They were doing a huge round of layoffs. They were a local company.
A lot of people.
And they laid off a lot of people, and he was just kind of home. Had been home for like a week and a half, and we had the grand opening at the new building over here.
And he wanted to come check it out
5 years ago.
Because he'd been a customer.
Yeah, he was a customer, so he was just like, I don't have anything to do, so I'm just going to come to the party and hang out. And he knew all of us somewhat.
I knew him as the guy who was a little crazy about his Evo.
Yeah.
And he rode motorcycles.
Yeah, and we had used his motorcycle for one of our shows. And so we kind of knew him. And he came to hang out. And then he just said, hey, if you guys ever need anything, I don't have anything to do right now. I'm kind of laid off. So if you need help. And we're like, maybe, yeah. And it's funny to think there was only like 10 of us when we moved into the big building, and it was weird.
This building was very empty for a while.
We were like, wow, it's so weird. There's so many offices and spaces, and none of us know what to do with all this room.
Well,
and
this was
we hired Dane, or we hired Anthony, and that was it. And like 2 months later, we hired Anthony full time, and it was pretty crazy. So that was how we did it, Simon. Yep. G. Davis says a monocle vest and no pants. Oh, very different.
Interesting.
Island Aesthetics. Will we ever see Schrader valves on the standard version of the IK sprayer, or just the foam version? Patience, my son or daughter.
Hold on there.
Simon, honestly, if it weren't for you guys, I would probably never heard about Ivan or how amazing O&R is. There you go. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Simon says, I just bought a Zen tool for my father-in-law through TRC Europe and always been a Rupes guy myself and figured I'd give it a try. There you go.
Give it a try.
Alex says, that's the real reason the world stopped. I met a wild Canadian and a Gator fan from the real deep south. There you go.
California.
Yeah. Hugo Fireflies, how do you contain the dust when blowing out pads?
You
just kind of don't.
Well, pro tip, don't do it near the area you're working.
So what I use is I use a pad. There. Hugo, to be honest, I use a pad washer, Lake Country pad washer. Yeah. And then after it's been washed, then I blow it out, and all I'm blowing out is liquid. Water stuff left over.
I was using the claw tool when we did our video, and it worked great.
Yeah. John Hill, am I late to the flannel party?
No, you're just
not.
in time,
Throw it
bud.
on.
We're all good.
Hugo, thanks, guys, for answering all my questions. You're welcome, man. Of course. And then Simon, oh, wait, Sandwich Shop makes me think of Doug from King of Queens. Honestly, who doesn't want that, right?
Just seems like a fun thing. It's less problem than running a bar, right? Because at a bar, you have to hire bouncers and that kind of thing. At a sandwich shop, it's rare you'd run into a situation that would require a bouncer.
Yeah.
But feel free to let your imaginations run wild. Think of a scenario that might happen.
So Darren's saying, I just polished off an entire box of Kinder cards.
Oh.
That's 10 Kinder cards.
Oh.
I hear you guys like them when you're in the UK next, I'll set you up. So
we had so
Dirk
many.
too bought me an actual
so
trade
many.
case of them.
Oh,
and I will tell
God.
you, Dane, I am now down to 3 boxes.
You've been mowing down
No,
on those things.
Augie has.
Oh, okay. That
He
makes sense.
has been like, he takes 2 a day to school.
like it's a vitamin.
To school. He takes two Kinder card packs to school.
Which in
to give
each
to
pack,
his
there's
best
2 in a pack,
yeah,
right? Okay.
To give one to his best friend.
Oh, see, that's nice, though.
So I'm all right with that. But yeah, but I gave my like sister-in-law a box. I gave my mother-in-law a box.
Yeah.
I think we ate like 4 boxes at SEMA. I gave
I think I
Anthony,
had like 2 of those cards in the whole thing, and
I
that
gave
was it.
Anthony like 5 boxes himself.
My
like,
diet. I've been very strict about that. But
Yeah. No, they're dope, dude. They're dope. But we got them out of Germany. That's where we first tried them.
They
and
do
then
taste
I noticed that they
amazing,
do
though.
have them in the UK. They don't have them here in the US. G. Davis, I hope everyone will support Dane's new business venture, filleting services, where he'll come to your event to do a live Twitch stream and also prepare your meat.
I burned a quesadilla last night. Things aren't looking good for the preparation front.
Darren saying, G. Davis is the stream called Watch Dane Beat His Meat.
Oh, God. No.
Hayden, great story. Love that it's still a family-owned business. Yep. Daytona Wallace, he sent me this email the other day. I'm sorry, Daytona, I haven't written you back. Interested in coming out for the Avery Dennison class you guys are hosting. Do I need experience before the class, or should I just dive in? No. No experience necessary. I will just say you'll get a lot of knowledge. You'll get to do a lot of hands-on. It's a really, really good class. The key is how much you practice it after that.
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest.
If you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing.
Because I've taken that class twice, and I'm good enough to be dangerous, but I'm not like, if Justin Pate was like, yo, Levi, jump in on wrapping this hood with me, I could do that. If he was like, yo, jump in on wrapping this roof with me, I'd go, my shoulders don't go that high.
Yeah.
If he was like, can you go wrap that door? I would, but I'm not amazing at it. I can wrap a door.
Here, wrap this 4th generation Prius that looks like a praying mantis with pokey corners all over the place.
I know after those 2 classes, I could wrap the Elantra.
Okay.
I would probably have some difficulty on the bumpers. I know in theory how to make it work. I would probably need some help, but I know I could probably wrap that whole car myself.
If you could wrap the Elantra, you could wrap a Crown Vic. The Crown Vic is sort of like an unmelted version of the Elantra.
Yeah.
And you just kind of whoop.
Like I look at your van and I go, that would
manageable.
be that we could do. We'd probably do the same thing. We'd probably have some stuff on the bumpers where we have a little bit of hard work,
non-creased, non-overly curved surfaces you can work with. Yeah.
So I look at it like that. Like I'm looking at doing my whole Suburban next, and that's kind of my goal. So that's the biggest thing, Daytona. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll learn a lot. The key is just how excited you are afterwards. For me, I shake really bad. Like it's getting worse. Like the nerve damage in my hands from polishing for so many years is getting so bad now that like I was drinking coffee this morning. I made my coffee. No, and I had made toast. That means I hadn't had anything this morning yet.
Yeah.
And I was picking up the knife to butter my toast, and I was an old man shaking as I'm trying to butter my toast.
You're looking going, I should be at least
And
30 years older than this before this affects me.
I haven't even drank any coffee or had any caffeine. I've just recently woken up, taken a shower, that kind of thing. So for me, my difficulty comes in cutting.
Yeah.
I don't have a steady hand when it comes to cutting. So I'm trying to have to figure, like my thing is figuring out how to cut without my hand shaking.
Maybe using knifeless tape.
Well, you can't do that for all of it, but
not
yeah.
for
But
everything.
point is, that's where I'm at, and I've told Josh that. So we've worked on panels, and we were working on my truck. I would try and get as much as I could, and then I'd have him cut everything for me, Josh Brodel. So that's the biggest thing to learn.
Yeah.
Nate says, looking to switch the Rupes compound and polish from Sonex compound and polish. What are some of the advantages to making the switch, or are they similar in performance? Any cons of making the switch? No. Nate, if you really want to switch to the Rupes compound, I'm not going to stop you, compound and polish. But I would also say if you haven't decided fully that you want to go to Rupes, I would look in the last cut if I were you.
Yeah.
I think you'd get a lot of traction out of last cut and final polish.
The last cut.
It's just a little more versatile. Scott Campbell, hey guys, have you anytime coming to Canada for a sales promotion? Huh. So Scott, Currently, TOC
Yes.
Supplies is our primary distributor for Canada. They're our main distributor. So you would have to take a look and see what they're doing at TOC.
Yeah, TOC Supplies are on it. They're really good.
Yeah, that's who I would see.
Yeah.
G. Davis, I was excited to hear that Luke Berge and Chuck Norris are now endorsing the new Close and Crypto investment line.
Sounds
Very
like a perfect
impressive.
thing that won't
Very
get rug
impressive.
pulled. We've got Hayden here. A 5-gallon bucket works too. Now, what was that in reference to?
No, Hayden. That's
Probably
amazing.
a different conversation I missed.
Simon saying,
Simon.
Hugo, if you have to use the air method, I use this method for long. Take a bucket, spray water onto the side, and spray the pad. The foam pads do hurt from this, but it works. It's true. Hugo says, thanks for the advice. You're welcome, man. Simon says, microfiber pads and wool pads are just fine, but if you can afford it, get a Lake Country Pad Washer 4000. I got mine after using the Grit God Pad Washer. Yeah, the Lake Country Pad Washer is just 10 times better. Island Aesthetics, my new supplier, Long Island Detail Supply, recently had Todd Helm from Rupa's at the warehouse for a workshop.
Nice.
Any plans for the TRC squad to visit Gary and the boys on Long Island in 2023? Yes.
We've got plans to go
So
to the East
here's
Coast.
the deal.
We haven't gone in a while.
So Island Aesthetics, I text and talk to Gary, 3 times a week. And when I was in Atlanta with them for the Koch event, Gary and I came up with an idea. So our goal for 2023 is an East Coast adventure, TRC East Coast adventure. We would like to visit and do stuff with Long Island Detail Supply. We'd also like to do stuff with Detailed Image, with Detailer's Domain, all of our friends over there, Koenig Wheels, and one of our newest friends, Haggerty. So we are working. I will tell you, it is a idea I have in my head that I have shared with Bob Phillips and some other suppliers, and it is something that we are working on. So it's going to be very different from years past where we've done this and based ourselves out of Detailer's Domain. This is going to be a very different version, but we're going to try and do something really, really cool, and we really want to make it super special and really blow it out.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and come up with some ideas. So plan is we will see you this year. We'll probably be there sometime in May, June.
Not this year, next year.
2023, May, June of 2023. That's our goal. So we are working on it. So just be patient, sir.
Noted.
Simon saying, was never really a fan of the Grit Guard version. So stoked with air to the foam pads until I got the pad wash. So sticked with. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
The 4000's great, though.
Hugo saying, Dirk Do, the Kindercard smuggler. Yeah, no, it was hilarious because he literally texted me and said, what do you want from Germany? And I said, some Kindercards. And I assumed a box of them.
Then he shows up with
and
like
he
a
shows up with a
suitcase
full
full.
box that he
Just
brought over in one
bricks
suitcase and just hands it to me. And I'm like, I don't think I have enough room for this. I literally didn't. I had to line my suitcase like
It looked like a deal was
looked
going
like
down,
cocaine.
if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Packs of cocaine.
Well, I don't just say it.
And then, man, have you tried the Kinder Hippos and Kinder Buenos? So we have Kinder Buenos.
We had
They're
Kinder
good.
Hippos
I
as
haven't
a
had the
treat
Kinder
that
Bueno
Jack
Hippo.
sent, at least
Oh,
Anthony
yeah.
and I.
Yeah, no,
one
I got
time.
those too.
So I got to try those.
I'm still surprised how Kinder eggs were banned in the United States. It's too good. Yeah, no, we have Kinder eggs. They're just a little different.
Yeah, it's because people are dumb and eat the thing
Yeah,
inside. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's why.
Now it's
lawyers
a
make
now
you
it's a
write
split.
everything.
So you have one side that's the thing, and then the second one is the toy. So
Yeah.
Sheldon, hey guys, popping in late. I've been using Ulex and wondering if to just toss those after you're done, or do you wash them? Because man, that stuff is strong.
It's
So
strong.
Sheldon, I do the same thing. Just if you're gonna make them, I'd mark them as solvent towels, meaning those are gonna be your lower rags. Same thing as what I said with the other solvents. I'd recommend you dry them out. So if you have a place where you can hang them, like usually away, like I used to have a metal baker's rack, and I would lay some towels that needed to dry on that were metal.
Sure.
That way I didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So Darren saying, Simon, there was a massive health scare in the UK and Kinder eggs were off sale for months. My son was devastated probably, but finally back on sale. Yeah, no, they're
There you
back.
go.
My son loves them too. And then Valadine says, I've just eaten 4 mince pies.
Okay.
Delicious. Simon says, Kinder eggs on sale are just not available. So you can buy them. You can get them at the grocery store here. I'd say there's a bigger health scare if they're not available. Agreed.
Yeah.
Hugo says, Kinder had a salmonella problem over here. At least they kept their promise that in every egg there's a surprise.
Hey!
G. Davis says, are Josh and Clay Aikman, a.k.a. Nate, coming to MTE? No, I don't think so.
Josh isn't?
No.
Oh,
Josh
okay.
Petro is, but
Well, that's what I was going to say, Josh Petro.
I think he means Josh Brodel.
Oh, okay.
Clay Aikman.
Yeah.
So,
Important distinction.
yeah, and then Clay Aikman, a.k.a. Nate.
God.
They were recalled, taken off sale altogether while they shut the factory down, cleaned the egg-making machines over the salmonellas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Housewife says, validating supplies. That doesn't surprise me. We need to set up a Christmas meal, my man.
Oh.
And then G, Paramus, part 2. Dane's ban from the local Wendy's is probably expired at this point. Yeah, exactly.
Great subtitle.
No, so G. Davis was with us on the last time we did our East Coast adventure, and it was quite a delight to have him with us.
There's the lost stream we did on the road where we tried to run a Q&A.
Yep.
But we were driving through what amounted to essentially Sleepy Hollow, and the signal just kept
But then we
cutting
ended
out.
at Sleepy Hollow and had a great, fanciful, quick last-minute
It
tour.
was wonderful. So to those of you who remember that stream and managed not to vomit during the constant movement, I mean, good on you.
Yeah.
You,
you
experienced something special.
We're gonna try and do something. I want to bring it to another level, folks.
Yeah.
So I've got to work on that. I'm pretty much going to start on that next month. So, Valentine supplies, yes, we definitely need to get a meal. Hugo says, Ulex is butyl acetate, so just let them air dry and throw them out. The washing machine will smell like that for a month.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Like I said, it really just depends on if you want to keep them or not. But I wouldn't do it in your wife's washing machine. Simon Bach, I can't recall, but was it a burrito you guys were going crazy over that was not everywhere?
What?
I can't recall. If you had to choose that burrito thing or the McRib.
What?
If you had to choose what is that?
Oh, he was talking about a Choco Taco, wasn't he?
Oh, it was a Choco Taco.
Not a burrito, but it's really a taco in name only. It's
it's an ice cream taco, basically. It's like a waffle, chocolate-covered waffle.
But it's funny because you guys were talking about
filled with ice cream and chocolate.
You guys were talking about it on the podcast and the Q&A, and then about 2 weeks after or a week after that, news came out that they were discontinued. They weren't doing it anymore.
Yeah,
then the internet freaked out, and you guys were ahead of the curve. That's the beauty of it.
Great.
So you were already talking about it before it was
famously said he does not like chocolate. G. Davis, the Connecticut minivan uncut is on my IMDb page. Harry Housewife, well, my guys, it's that time of the night again. Thank you for getting me through a Thursday night. Cracking as always. Thank you, Darren, as always.
You.
Simon Bach saying, yeah, that's what it was. And then Jeffrey Berry, hey, guys, been really happy with the O&R Wash and Wax for years. What makes the new Absolute stand out? Well, it's not wash and wax.
Correct.
It's more like wash and shine, the blue O&R.
But the shine is there.
So if that's what you're asking, it's a plain rinseless wash that cleans and shines.
Because wash and wax is great if you're just planning on protecting a car at the same time you wash it, but it's kind of a dead end when you use it in a shop where you want to do other things
so
too.
Jeffrey, if it's the blue, it's more similar to that.
Yeah, wash and wax
green
is the green
different.
one.
Yeah, David Blowy, thanks for the live, guys. I really appreciate all you do. Thank you, man.
Thank
appreciate you jumping in.
We appreciate
$10 from Nate Marcy. Thank you, gentlemen, for the great answers. Always value this Q&A. Learning something new every week. Much appreciated. Everyone hit that thumbs up button. Thank you, Nate. We appreciate it,
Give all the thumbs up you can, guys. We really appreciate it, and thank you, Nate. That's
and then G. Davis saying, thank you, boys. Thank you, man. And then Hugo, have you heard anything about the Sonax rinseless wash? I have not yet, Hugo.
No, that's the first I've heard of that.
And Simon says, oh my, searching for a Choco Taco on Google makes you laugh. 1983 to 2022, rest in peace.
That was a whole thing.
Right? All right. Two things need to come back. Choco Tacos and Dragos. That's right, Sheldon. That's a good idea.
Okay. That rounds us out. That's it. Anything you want to throw in?
No,
as a
just
end of show
get
note?
ready, guys. Next week, we've got an epic Thanksgiving Q&A that we're going to be doing on Wednesday next week. So there will be no Thursday Q&A.
It'll be a Wednesday one.
We'll probably have
we'll
probably have the podcast Monday just to hang out, just to make
we'll still do
keep that going. But we are Wednesday going to have a live Q&A, same time, 2 to 4 Mountain Standard Time, or Mountain Daylight Time now. I think is what we're in.
Same time,
MDT.
one day earlier.
Yeah, so we'll be doing it on Wednesday because Thanksgiving is this Thursday here in the United States.
Be here for that.
We won't be here. We'll be off. So make sure you tune in. Also Wednesday. That's when the the thing I was telling you about drops. So make sure you're signed up. Go to theragcompany.com, go all the way to the bottom and sign up for the newsletter. And then make sure that you got the reply email, and make sure it's not in your spam, make sure it's not in your junk, make sure it's, make sure it goes in the right place so that you see it Wednesday morning.
You don't want to miss this.
No.
I promise. You don't want to miss this. So, guys, looking forward to next week. Hopefully you are too. And we'll catch up next show on the podcast channel, the TRC podcast channel, where we'll meet up with you. And hopefully Anthony will be with us then for next week. And we'll all catch up then. And I got a story, Anthony, and I got to hash out the story. So we'll have some fun. We'll see you there. Everybody, have a fantastic night. We'll catch you around.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.